A massive no way from the current game. So what exactly is R360 and why is it controversial? Rugby union is facing challenges on a domestic level right now. There's huge financial instability across even top-tier clubs. The English game has seen leading clubs like Wasps, London Irish and Worcester go out of business in the top flight. The Welsh provincial game is in total disarray too. R360 says they would remove what are easily some clubs' biggest expenses, i.e. the big stars, and therefore make more of them profitable. So the plan is to inject a new lease of life into the sport. But how exactly? Top stars of the men and women's game playing for a franchise-based league with fixtures in cities like London, Miami, Tokyo and Lisbon. Each city would host a tournament featuring all the franchises during a short 3-month season. And though no players have officially confirmed, reports suggest around 200 have signed pre-contracts, some worth up to 750 grand. And if that's the pre-contract, you can imagine where the full wages will get to. Problem is, the rest of rugby says no. In fact, no way. The national unions from England, Scotland, Ireland, France, Italy, South Africa, New Zealand and Australia have declared any player joining R360 will be banned from test selection. World Rugby's also not approved the league. Many fear it echoes football's failed European Super League, a top-down, money-driven idea that could damage the sport's traditions. So is it dead already? Well, rugby union is at a crossroads. Some may be against it, but we know others are being swayed by the cash. So will everything work itself out? Or after the European Super League and Live Golf, have we got sport's next big scandal on our hands?
Hello there, good morning. It's the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT with Shebahn Aherne, the man who's just got home, Tony Cascarino.
Good morning.
Good morning. Liverpool roared back into the top 5 with a 4-1 thrashing of Newcastle last night.
It's back-to-back wins for Liverpool and their under-fire manager. Boy, did Arne Slot need that.
Good game, by the way. We'll assess all of yesterday's action, including Chelsea coming from 2-0 down to defeat West Ham with a very late show.
Chelsea 3, West Ham 2. Enzo Fernandez, the skipper, to get Chelsea right out of trouble here.
West Ham fans, so what does that say about your place in the Premier League next season? 03717 223344. I know you probably don't want to talk about it, but we're here to talk about it. And today, 4 games, including a massive one at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Can Spurs do their better rivals a favour as they host title-chasing Manchester City? And do Spurs fans want their team to lose this one?
If I want Tottenham to lose and it stops Arsenal from winning the league and we don't get relegated, I'll take it all day long. I'll happily lose.
Oh my goodness, you've got proper Arsenal fans going yes at the idea of a Spurs win over City today. The game is gone. Updates on Game Day Live at 1:30 for you today. Stay with us here on talkSPORT. We've got another crazy day in the EFL to look back on. Plus, we've got all of the updates from the men's final at the Australian Open, and we'll discuss the case of Jean-Philippe Mateta and the not very cryptic emoji. All the details coming up on the Weekend Breakfast on talkSPORT. Well, look what the cat dragged in. How was your day yesterday?
Long. It was great. It was a great day. I was at Millwall versus Sheffield United. I was on the table with Mick McCarthy in the lounge, in the posh lounge at Millwall, would you believe?
Is it posh? Like, is it?
Oh, yeah, it's really nice. It's too nice. There's a couple of lounges. There's the 1885 Club, and there's obviously the main one now. I can't remember its name, but I was in there on Mick's table. We had a great old chat, catch up. Then met Chrissy Wilder afterwards, the Sheffield manager. We went out and a couple of beers and the chat, and it was great fun. And hey, a really good game. Yeah. Both teams. It was a fair result in the end.
Great game, by the way. Great game.
Yeah, a really good game. Both teams gave their all. It was a real ding-dong championship match, and I didn't think any team deserved to lose it. Sheffield probably had the better of the chances, but by the end, Sheffield rang it on because Millwall just come in one after one. And the big centre-half for Millwall, Taylor, looks a really good player. He's only 23 years old.
Going back to your little night out, though, with McCarthy and Wilder, who's the instigator of the...
No, well, Mick was with us.
Let's keep going for it. Let's go to the next place. One more.
No, well, Chris... Wilder, Mick and we'd had a drink with Mick and a couple of friends of his and his grandson. They were there. We were at the tables and we chatted, and then he introduced him to Chris. We all had a chat between us, and then me, Chris Wilder, and his missus, because it was his anniversary, and his friends went to London Bridge, and then we bumped into a load of Millwall fans in there, and some Sheffield ones as well, and it was really good, a really nice night. And I got trained back, and I've got to say, I've got to give this mention to a listener, Sam the postman. He was a Leyton Orient fan, and I felt so sorry for him because they lost at home yesterday, and he was like doom and gloom. They're just above relegation, and really good chat, and just for Richie Wellings, who's the Orient manager, last year all his loan signings that he had all worked for him. He lost them in the summer, and he's had to get other ones, and they haven't done as well. But it's a really, really good, fun conversation with him.
Yeah. I know you're fair play, postman Sam. Good morning to you, but I know you want to talk about the football. But can we just go back to the fact that you managed to crash Chris Wilder's anniversary?
No.
How many years are they married?
I think it's 9 or 8.
And what's the wife's name?
Francesca.
And she was happy to be with you, Mick McCarthy.
No, there was others. There was others there as well. Yeah, no, she was happy. Yeah, they'd come down to London, and they're back training today. So Chris is going back up this morning to Sheffield and early, and they're training because they got a game against Oxford on Tuesday night. And it was a really enjoyable day, and it was light-hearted. And like I said, I thought Millwall were really good as well.
You've gone back to the football again? I want the details of the table.
No, I can't. After that, I left them.
Is Mick McCarthy confident that Ireland will qualify for the World Cup? Did he say anything?
Well, he's very hopeful, like we all are. We're all off the same page, where we just think that what a golden opportunity, because the win against Portugal and the win against Hungary away gives you a lot of hope that Ireland can beat the Czech Republic.
Yeah.
We're all, I say, confident. We know how tough it's going to be. Yeah. We know that. But if they perform like they did against Hungary and Portugal, Ireland have got a great chance. And
did Mick mention anything about Saipan?
We had a little bit of a chat, but Mick's not too overly fussed by it. No, because, he's depicted, I think, unfairly. I don't think it's the Mick McCarthy. Well, I know it's not the Mick McCarthy that he's depicted. And they made him to be a weak sort of character in some ways because of the sort of power that Roy had with Ireland. I thought that was very unfair because Mick's not that at all. And he also, Mick's been our Republic of Ireland manager twice. Okay, the reason why he was back twice is because of how well we done in the first time. And 2002 was a really good World Cup for Ireland. We got knocked out by Spain on penalties. Yeah. We drew with Germany. Robbie Keane scored in that game. We had a good tournament. We lost Roy Keane, our best player, for sure. But I think what the lads did afterwards was pretty sensational.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Kind of wish I was invited out, but nope.
No, it was a great conversation. Nope. And look, Mick's been a manager. He's been there loads of times, and at different clubs and different experiences. And it's a real battle. And management is so hard. The amount of people I've known who have been managers, or I've got friends in the game, and it's a toss of a coin sometimes when it goes right or wrong. It can be really trivial things, and from the outside you're thinking, he's made mistakes or done this or done, and you're going, well, you don't quite know what's happened upstairs and potential budgets that they're having, and so it's always a great conversation with Mick and.
Well, I love that you were on an anniversary night with Chris Wilder and his wife. Mick McCarthy and Tony Cascarino. That actually sounds like a great night out.
And Mick's grandson and his
grandson.
son-in-law. And
Classic.
It was really good. Really good night.
Those are the impromptu nights that are the best nights as
good
well.
fun.
Okay, right, we will focus on the Premier League yesterday now, where we're talking about managers and how difficult a job it is for some of them. Arne Slot was under pressure going into the game yesterday, and Liverpool thrashed Newcastle live on talkSPORT.
Game over here. Wolves 0, Bournemouth 2, and the new Bournemouth star has created the goal for Alex Scott, but Rayan does brilliantly here.
It's Leeds 0, Arsenal 4. What an excellent day for Mikel Arteta's side. Gabriel Jesus off the bench has swept it into the bottom corner.
Garner sweeping in the cross from the right-hand side. It comes from Braithwaite, saved by Verbruggen, and then turned in by Beto. Everton, in the 7th minute of stoppage time, have surely salvaged a point at the Amex. Chelsea 3, West Ham 2, and it's been coming. It's João Pedro who's put it on a plate for Enzo Fernandez, the skipper, to get Chelsea right out of trouble here.
Pope, who drops it in the feet of Konate, who angles it back past the goalkeeper, and in it's 4-1 to Liverpool, and a very popular Ibrahima Konate scores. It's back-to-back wins for Liverpool, and they're under fire, manager, and maybe, just maybe, things are slotting into place.
Sam, that's why you're paid the big bucks. That's how it sounded last night on talkSPORT. Brighton and Everton managed to draw. David Moyes getting the job done late on as well. Got a yellow. He was unhappy about that for celebrating. Leeds, well, I was miles off it. Arsenal comfortably getting the win at Elland Road yesterday, 4-0. Wolves beaten again by Bournemouth 2-0. Chelsea, what a great game that was, 3-2. They beat West Ham, coming back from 2-0 down. And Liverpool in the late game last night, live on talkSPORT, ended up 4-1 against Newcastle. It was a battle for the European places. We really got into this game yesterday here in the show and what to expect from it. And it was an exciting first half, that was for sure. Liverpool running away with it in the end of the game. After it, Arne Slot praised the performances of both Ekitike and Florian Wirtz. He told talkSPORT they are reaching a new level.
No, of course, very impressed. I said after the Bournemouth game we have to improve in both boxes, and we scored 10 and only conceded 1. Now you highlight these two, and if I talk about these two, the first thing that I notice is that they indeed make goals and assists. Florian, of course, has been very unlucky in the beginning of the season, where he created so much for himself and his teammates, but balls didn't go in. But what I also notice is the work rate for the two of them off the ball, and that has improved throughout the season. But now they are at a level that it's getting serious. It's getting to a level where I want them to be, and then they can even show their offensive qualities even more.
Nice to see Arne Slot happy again. Cash, you love to see it. That was a brilliant show from Liverpool.
Yeah, absolutely, Shebahn. And we talked yesterday about Ekitike.
You said MVP.
Well, I
said it. He's brilliant.
You know when you just don't know where the ceiling is for a player,
right?
And that's what he is. They consider they spent so much money on forwards in the summer, and he was the one more potential. Isak was the proven, and it's just amazing in life sometimes how it's worked out that actually Isak's got a real fight for his position in the team. Because if he doesn't play them, quite clearly, because of and by the way, Wirtz has now started to score goals on a regular basis.
He's an absolute player, by the way.
Yeah, well, he's got it all. I said, look, the one thing that he doesn't, and he did this a bit at Bournemouth last week, and I criticised him for it, because he's so good technically and everything's quite... He plays like a five-a-side player at times. So when it comes off, it's great. If it doesn't, it gives away the ball a lot. But he wants to take risks, and he looks like he's way more fitter. The way he gets around the pitch. He's an absolute talent. I don't deny that. But Ekitike, for me, is the one that you're going to go, how good is this guy going to be?
Yeah.
He really has got so many special... I mean, his second goal, finished with the outside of his boot, and he puts it in the bottom corner. It's like, that's an Henry goal.
Yeah.
If you ever want to describe a certain type of goal, it's the sort of goal Henry could get. And I know he was always noted for his being able to bend it in corners. Henry done that all the time. But he also got them ones with a bit of guile. Just an extraordinary striker. And Liverpool, For all their money they spent, Shebahn, there's one guy that has just absolutely... Now I think he's got 10 Premier League goals, which... and he's still missed games, but he's a talent.
Yeah. 03717 223344 81089 Liverpool fans. After that performance last night, you expect to get yourself into those Champions League spots. You would hope so. Just a wee shout out for Ibrahim Konate, because he came back last night. His dad passed away 2 weeks ago. He scored in the 93rd minute, and the emotions just took over him. You know, he let it all out on the pitch. He cried. The teammates were there at his side. Alison, who lost his dad a few years ago, were up, you know, ran the length of the pitch to celebrate with him and just make sure they knew they were with him. And I thought, I had a couple of glasses of wine last night, Cass. I thought to myself, oh my God, this poor Liverpool dressing room, you know, everything they've been through. And then you see moments like that last night and they all come together for a team, and you think that's the bits you've got to focus on sometimes.
Yeah.
It's easy to focus on the negatives, but that was a really classy moment from them all there last night. Liverpool fans, let's be having you. 03717 223344. Coming up next for you on the weekend breakfast, we'll get into Chelsea against West Ham. Whoa, what a brilliant win from Liam Rosenior last night. We'll do that next.
It will be an underwhelming Premier League title.
It won't be.
I think it will be.
For Arsenal. If they win the title for the first time in 22
they won't
years,
care.
They will not
No,
care.
they won't care.
That it's underwhelming.
But
They'll
everyone
just think
else
it's job
will.
done. Well, yeah, last year he was giving Liverpool stick for the way they went about.
And I've been
winning
proved
it.
right when you look at them this year. It wasn't.
They still won the league.
It wasn't a great Premier League
But they
last
still
year.
won the league.
Liverpool can't. That Liverpool team. That's what I said at the time. It was in March. We're at the Cheltenham Festival. I got a lot of stick from Liverpool fans, but I stand by it. You can't talk about the Liverpool team that won the league last year in the same breath as Manchester City's treble winners, United's treble winners, Jose's Chelsea, Arsenal's invincible.
But it was the first season in their development. It's like this season for Arsenal. This is the first season that they're going to put some silverware on the board. So you don't just automatically put them into a bracket with some of the greatest teams that have ever graced the Premier League. That happens over a longer period of time. It may well be that after that they had to rejig. They surprised themselves by winning the title last year. They had to rejig. They had to rebuild for the future. It may be that they come again.
Whereas it's a different story with Arsenal. They've been building up to this moment. And I think that's why Gabby says, not to their fans, but maybe to the rest of us, if they are only going to score 69 goals, you said maybe it is a little bit underwhelming. And I love Theo Walcott, but I can't believe he even asked the question on television.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We're taking you through what should be another busy day of football.
Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
How did you get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
Watermelon sugar high. Watermelon sugar high. Watermelon sugar high.
Watermelon sugar high. Good morning, it's the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Mick McCarthy, Chris Wilder and Tony Cascarino singing this 10 o'clock last night on their night out for Chris Wilder's wedding anniversary. It's one way to do it.
I don't know if he wanted me to have said that, but I have. It's too late.
Sorry, Chris. Sorry, Francesca. It's out.
But it was a great day. And you know when you go somewhere and you, like you said earlier, and you're just like, what's it going to be like? Catch up with a few friends, you know, and whatever. And it was just a lovely day. The day just went like that. Flew by. And also, went there to present a Millwall fan who was 70 a month ago, but he was at the game and I'd done a signed shirt. And it was great. I went into the lounge and surprised him. He's not my friend, but he's a friend of my sister and family, you know?
Oh, lovely.
So that's nice.
Good. That sounds like a perfect wee day at the football, to be fair. Happy birthday, Harry Styles. Guess the age?
Oh, he must be mid-40s. 48? Something like that, then?
What?
How
I'm sorry. How many have you had?
I ain't got a clue. All I know is Harry... Well, he can't be... He's not in his 20s, is he?
Harry Styles from The X Factor. 48.
Is he?
No, he's 32.
Oh, well, I weren't that far out. What did I say? It'd be
48.
No, I said mid-40s, and then you surprised me, and then you made it sound like either very young, you're much younger or older. I don't know how old Harry Styles is.
I want to apologise for Tony Cascarino. He's actually up to his eyeballs in Guinness this morning. And rightly so. Can somebody clip this up and send it to Harry Styles and just apologise? We'll get you tickets to his next gig. Oh, happy birthday, Harry Styles. At 5:30 last night, Chelsea. That's like the time Kane Reeves thought I was 41. And I genuinely thought I was going to start crying.
I remember that discussion on air.
It's always harsher on a woman, isn't it?
That's a bit harsh. That's way worse.
And the funny thing is we were the same age as each other, and he's hardly Brad Pitt. Anyway, 5:30 last night, Chelsea came from 2-0 down at half-time to defeat devastated West Ham 3-2, thanks to Enzo Fernandez's 92nd minute winner, and then it all kicked off afterwards. Head coach Liam Rosenior spoke to the Moose yesterday on their win and looking ahead to the second leg of the semi-final against Arsenal.
Look, I'm here to try and do my best. So in the long term and the short term, this club wins trophies. That's what this club is about. We need to make sure that we recover really, really well. I felt our first half performance was really lethargic, some tired decision making out there. So we need to make sure we recover, we rest, and we do the best we can on Tuesday night.
Yeah, shocking in the first half, being 2-0 down at home to West Ham, Cass, but what a turnaround.
Well, it's twice in a week for him. He's made changes. There's a little bit of danger, a little bit of jeopardy there, because when you're bringing off players, and look, he's a very young manager who's been given an opportunity at a big football club, and he's made some calls. They've all worked for him. Making the call in midweek, he took Neto off, and I thought that was a big call, and I'm not sure how Neto was going to handle that, because he's that sort of player. I always get the feeling, you didn't want to upset him, but then he's had to bring off yesterday Ballesteros and Garnacho, who likewise is not a player, as you know, from Manchester United days, that really doesn't like... And I get it, you don't like being substituted, but you normally get a reaction from him. And he got brought off at half-time yesterday, so he's made the changes that ultimately made the difference for them to win the game, because I'm a great fan. I'll tell you one player, and we talk about £100 million players, and Caicedo was that, and we've obviously talked about Isaac, but I'll tell you, Enzo Fernandez, if you watch him live, and I've been lucky enough a few times, his movement and ability to get goals like he did for the winner, he does it brilliantly. He's a really, really gifted footballer. Yeah. He's not the quickest, but boy, he's got so much talent.
It kicked off right at the very end. After that 92nd minute winner, there was a bit of to and froing.
Yeah.
Jean-Claude Todibo got sent off in the end from West Ham for putting his hands on the neck of João Pedro.
Yeah.
Adama Traore was completely involved in it as well. He sent Cucurella to the shops. What did you make of all that, and was that right that he was sent off?
When I was watching it, I was thinking Traore was like, he's literally like the Hulk.
I'd have ran a mile.
Look, the referees handled it as best he could and rightly sent the player off. I don't know if you can defend, West Ham player at all.
He looked fuming to Debo. I mean, his eyes, because obviously the cameras were moving, and he looked.
Look, again, you have to put it all in perspective, and it's not an excuse. I'm not condoning how it panned out, but being 2-0 up, fighting a relegation battle, then you get pulled back to 2-2, and it just something like that can just easily just kick off. It just happens.
Yeah.
And it was one of them incidents. Cucurella loves to be involved in a little bit of skirmish and upsets players. He's done it all his career when he was at Brighton and Chelsea. He'll upset one or two. He got one of the goals. I mean, you could tell it was one of them games that I'm talking about. When we say a game of 2 half, that's exactly what that was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a perfect example.
Also, that rivalry, it's a derby game. You want to see your players pumped, but like you say, I mean, there's no taking away from to Debo. He got that time to settle down because it took ages for then the referee to go and watch the screen and make his decision in the end. But it did seem like a straight red card. You can't put your hands on players' necks, just don't do it. But
no, it's a bit more than just put his hands, wasn't it?
He dug the thumb in. He dug the thumb right in, didn't he?
Yeah. I just sometimes you have to put it in perspective of where teams are and what they're fighting for. And West Ham are fighting to try and stay up. They've had back-to-back wins. They got a bit of momentum. And with that, they've gone over the top by the end of the game. I've been there myself. I've been involved in teams that have lost it. I've lost it. I got sent off when we played Auxerre once. And I remember I got sent off with 2 minutes to go.
Yeah.
We were leading and we were fighting relegation. And I lost it. And there I was then suspended for the sort of next 2 games.
And how damaging could that be to West Ham?
It's painful because, absolutely. If they'd have got something out of the game, and they haven't. And, the first half performance, Somerville scores again, Bowen, he's their talisman, without a doubt. Somerville stepped up. So there's lots of good things that have happened in the last week or so for West Ham.
Yeah.
But that's a painful one.
Yeah, absolutely. West Ham fans, let's be hearing from you this morning. 810 89 03717 22 33 Seriously, are you looking at relegation now? I mean, there's no getting away from it now. There's still, a number of games to go. But it's looking very problematic. Chelsea, brilliant win for you. Coming up next on the Weekend Breakfast, we'll turn our attention to another bonkers day in the EFL, a particularly bad one for Leicester City. Could they be about to be sucked into another relegation battle? We'll discuss that next.
The only problem I have with him, he done it again on the weekend against Arsenal. He played a pass to Mbeumo, and he was at fault for a poor pass. And he's thrown his arms up at Mbeumo, and Mbeumo's actually giving him some back of come on. As a player, you don't players throwing your arm.
Why is that wrong? That happens all the time.
I was going to say.
But as a player, having played it at the game, anybody throws your arms up at you, you always have. You don't like it. Ask any players playing now, you don't like it. That's what he let himself down at. Garnacho copied him.
Don't compare Garnacho to Bruno Fernandes.
I'm saying he copied him. I'm not comparing him. I'm saying he copied. It's not a good example when you're throwing your arms up at your teammates. What he does on the pitch, his performances,
but isn't
outstanding.
That because he's from a different culture, from a different sort of upbringing, and
it's
he's
a
got
Portuguese mentality,
demeanour. He has, if you look at Jose Mourinho and the way he conducts himself, it's different to the way that Michael Carrick conducts himself because they're brought up in different cultures. And if you're going to have the World League, which
who else do you see do it?
Loads of players do it. Go watch Spanish football.
No, in the Premier League.
Good morning. It's the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT with Shebahn Aherne and the man who's out with the boys, not with the men, Tony Cascarino. Some of your other headlines this morning. Bournemouth defeated Wolves 2-0 at Molineux thanks to goals from Krupi and Alex Scott to give the Cherries back-to-back league wins for the first time since September. Alina Rabakina won her first Australian Open title with a 3-set victory over Arena Sabalenka in Melbourne yesterday. The men's final between Novak Djokovic and Carlos Alcaraz takes place this morning. Looking forward to that. All the updates, by the way, here on talkSPORT, so stay with us. And it was another incredible day in the EFL yesterday.
Short again. Chambers, then for the ball across, chance to finish and make it two! Brilliantly done by Lyndon Dykes! And Charlton double their advantage, and the storm clouds are gathering above the King Power. Leicester 0, Charlton 2.
Switchtown have a penalty. Clark right-footed. Oh, and although Cornell went the right way, he couldn't stop the penalty. It's going to be 1-1 here. Drama at Portman Road. Drama on talkSPORT.
Wow, what a goal. Middlesbrough 1, Norwich City 0, and it is Hayden Hackney from the edge of the D, and he's curled it into the top right-hand corner.
Big match at the bottom of the table, this one. The win for Portsmouth mean they move ahead of West Brom in the table, but with both still hovering above the drop zone. It's finished Portsmouth 3, West Brom 0.
It's Vale from the left-hand side, cross saved by Rushworth. In comes Madsen! Nicholas Madsen drives it in from 15 yards out.
That's why you pay your money to come and watch football, Dan.
QPR 2, Coventry City 1. They've scuppered Coventry's hopes of keeping a points lead in the Championship.
Yeah, Coventry City still top of the Championship, but level in points now with Middlesbrough in second. That 10-point lead that they had now down to nada. Beat by QPR yesterday 2-1. Cass, big old day in the champ as ever.
Where was it just yet? I mean, there's a couple of clubs. You mentioned Leicester being in freefall. They've lost their last 2 home games against Oxford and Charlton. You look at their squad, you know, you still think there's experience there. They got paid, you know, good money for Daka, AU, Mavidi. I don't get how they've got there. There must be a lot going on behind the scenes at Leicester City. It's a bit like West Brom. What is happening to West Bromwich Albion? They've been in absolute freefall. Just above the relegation zone again. Blackburn likewise. You know, these clubs are big football clubs in the Championship. And they're all looking and staring down relegation. They really are going to have a battle.
Let's focus on Leicester that little bit more, because there's this trend going around on social media just now, 2016 to 2026. And it's 10 years that Leicester City had won the Premier League and pulled off the biggest miracle that football's ever seen. Then relegation to the Championship, a series of PSR breaches and another potential PSR breach to come, and another points deduction possibly on the way. The club find themselves managerless, 16th in the Championship, and in danger of being dragged into the relegation zone after defeat yesterday 2-0. Lost to Charlton. It was live for you on talkSPORT 2. Somebody who won't be feeling up for the crack this morning is Chris Forian, Fox's fan and podcaster. Chris, it just goes from bad to worse.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, thanks for having me on. Yeah, I mean, it's as bad as it gets. We're almost sort of full circle to when the current owners took over and we were sort of down in League One, and we could be staring at that again, you know, by the end of the season.
Chris, tell us about, from your perspective, because you've still, you know, you've had a lot of players come into the football club over the last few years. You people like Winks has come in, Skip, and you've got experience, like I mentioned before, with Daka and AU. Tell us why things have gone so badly on the field. And I mean, look, obviously financial issues have played a part as well.
They have, but a lot of it has to go down to A, the manager, and B, the players. I mean, you say we've got experienced players. You've got our 2 strikers, which you mentioned there, AU and Daka. Neither of them could score in the proverbial. They are. I mean, Daka scored a goal. Last month now, January. That'll be it for the rest of the year. I mean, the guy. we bought Daka, but Daka, when we bought him, was playing with Haaland, and that'll make anybody look good. When we buy players at Leicester, we don't seem to buy players and then use them to their ability, if you like. So, Daka needs somebody up with him. We need to have two up front.
Yeah.
Ayew isn't an out-and-out striker. Our one striker that can score goals coming from the under-17s has been sent out on loan for the rest of the season. The players we've had, Winks, for example, you said there. Yep, 2 seasons ago, when we first got him in the Championship, last time we were down here, he was brilliant, absolutely fantastic. He is causing so much trouble behind the scenes at the moment, and you have to ask, why he was sort of banished, if you like, for 6 weeks. We never saw him, not even on the subs bench. The players a lot of them don't want to be here. We've got rid of Wout Faes, who was on a lot of money and wasn't worth it. We got rid of Sumare, who was on a lot of money and wasn't worth it. Look, I think it goes back to 10 years ago when we won the Premier League, that we had to then sort of be seen for the fans to go out and compete in the market for the best players out there. And we were still only Leicester. Though we just won the Premier League, if you went to a lot of players and said, do you want to come to Leicester or Man United, they'd have still wanted to go to Man United. So we had to offer big wages, and we chased the dream. Leeds did it years ago, and look what happened to them. Blackburn did it, and look at what's happened to them. You can't compete with those top 6, but you want to, because that's football. Football or any sport is about competing, and we tried to do it. And it's almost been the perfect storm, because we had COVID come along, and our owners are in the tourist business, and that absolutely, ruined, us almost. Only just starting to come out of it now. We have the owner, Vichai passed away in the bad accident. Everything kind of went wrong.
Yeah.
Just as everything went right when we won the Premier League, everything's going wrong now.
But are they getting the basics wrong as well, Chris? Like, the players need to take a bit more responsibility too, because I mean, I was at a night recently, a Leicester's Legends night. Like I say, that's nearly 10 years ago that they won. And, Robert Hood and Wes Morgan and Mark Albrighton and Danny Simpson, those players can't believe how different the club is now to when they were there and to when they won the Premier League. And they're so detached from that club as well. It's like they've forgotten the meaning of Leicester and that magical moment, and they've let it all go. The basics are wrong now at Leicester.
Oh, 100%. I can't argue with anything you say. We are not the club that won the Premier League. We have got owners who, funded and got to say that wonderful thing of winning the Premier League. But they've had their own problems to sort out as well. And they're so secretive, it is untrue. We don't know any, I think we'd get more secrets out of the, MI5 than we get out of our club owners.
Right.
First, he's just done some round of interviews, Coon Top. First interviews for those 10 years. And, you got to think, what's going on? He's now come out and said, I've got this restructuring. We need a technical director, a new CEO. It's words. Action speaks louder than words.
Chris, is there any light at the tunnel, Chris? But I mean, look, we're looking and maybe looming a points deduction, which is quite sad, really, because Sheffield Wednesday have already had it, and if you get points deduction as well, teams could be. The teams that could go down are teams that are being penalised. So, is there any light for you in any shape or form?
Not a lot, if I'm honest with you. And we could go down even without that points deduction. And I think, look, with regards to the points deduction, I think it's too late for them to really give it us this season. You look at most points deductions, they should have done it before the January transfer window. Whether they're worried about it because of, the fact that we appealed last time and won it. But we need to get a manager in, and the rumours are that we've approached Enzo to come back till the end of the season. But we need to get somebody that can come in and look at this squad and go,
okay,
it's rubbish.
Yeah,
this isn't working.
Okay.
You get Marty, who starts the season playing exactly the same formation as Rude did last year, and we lost 17 on a row. You then got Andy King coming in yesterday, and the fans were so excited that, Andy King, we love him, he's a club icon. and he does plays exactly the same formation with exactly the same players. You know, we've got all these youngsters, this golden generation that's coming through, all out on loan.
Oh, Chris, I'm feeling you this morning. I can tell that you're really unhappy. Yeah, it's a bit of a miserable time.
Well, we've had the good times.
I know, but it happens, part and parcel. Yeah, but this is particularly bad considering that other 10-point, deduction might be coming your way. Chris Forian, thank you so much for your time this morning. Leicester Podcaster there. Take care of yourself and we'll speak to you again soon. Not happy.
No,
but you can understand it's just like one thing after another.
Yeah, well, a club can easily spiral out of control. Yeah. That's been evident. It's not just Leicester, it's other clubs. And he mentioned Leeds, and there's been others as well.
Yeah, a huge win for Arsenal against Leeds yesterday.
Yep.
We'll get into that very, very soon. Running away with it, well, City get beat by Spurs today. Will Spurs do Arsenal a favour? You just never know. We're across it all on talkSPORT Game Day Live this afternoon. Coming up next, we'll get into this morning's back pages. It's the Weekend Breakfast on talkSPORT.
I've got to say, though, I mean, I am with Dino on this one, really, as opposed to yourself, Jay. But I think Thomas Frank should be given Tom. I think the trouble is, you see, it's too easy to sort of say, oh, we're not doing well, sack the manager, right? He's only been in the job 6 months. Let's be frank here, right? I'm going to spell it out for the other fans, right? They're listening to your glorious channel, right? We finished 17th in the league. He has not taken over a team that finished in the top 4. We qualified the Champions League because we won that trophy.
Yeah, we won the Europa League and we had a load of injuries and we sacked off the Premier League at the end of last season. So, yeah, I know we finished 17th and it wasn't good enough. I get that. But there needed to be a massive improvement. With the players that we've got, we shouldn't be where we are in the table. You can't... The performances, Chris, are not acceptable in the Premier League. That's your bread and butter. And look, we're a great side in the Champions League and we're a joy to watch. But that's got to go into the Premier League performances.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the thing is, look, we should have done better against...
An SOS. Anyone can come and rescue me from Tony Cascarino's dad jokes on the break. He's so grateful.
Yeah.
You are on one with the dad jokes today.
I'm trying to keep myself awake, Shebahn. Hey, football always keeps me awake.
Listen, your man getting at 11 o'clock last night after a BNO. Do you know what a BNO is?
Go on.
Big night out.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. Went a bit too far, didn't
No, I didn't. I was okay. No, it was more of an afternoon and went into the evening.
But that's what we were saying yesterday. We want to start early and finish early.
Nice.
If you don't get your 8 hours, man, we're just proper miles off it.
Well, you're never going to get 8 hours when you need to get up at 4:45 in the morning.
It does suck a little bit.
I can't go to bed at 7:30, 8 o'clock. I just can't.
Yeah. I could sleep on this table now like a cat if I wanted to. But I could just...
Oh, you one of them that you could just fall
sleep anywhere.
In a car, on a plane?
Anywhere.
You just fall. I find on planes absolutely no chance. Can't get sleep.
I used to sleep everywhere when I was young. Like, this is boring.
Now, your twin sister,
Yeah.
is she the same?
Yeah, she's a good sleeper.
All right, so both of you. Good. Okay.
Yeah, we're all good sleepers, I think. I was when you hear about people who just don't sleep, and that I feel for them.
Yeah.
Just go and have a bottle of wine. Don't don't do that. Don't do that. Okay, here's what's coming up for you on talkSPORT today. 9 o'clock, the Sunday edition with Henry Winter alongside Sean Custis. Very special guest. Arsenal fans for you in the studio today at 9 o'clock. The legend Tony Adams will be here with Henry Winter and Sean Custis. That'll be a great listen. 11 o'clock, the warm-up with Max Rushton and Barry Glendenning. Game Day Live, Sam Matterface and Alex Crook going around the grounds from 1:30. A number of big games to look forward to today. Villa Brentford, Man United Fulham, Forest Palace, they're all 2 o'clock. And then the 5:30 game this evening, Spurs take on Manchester City. Arsenal fans, are you supporting Spurs today? If you are, name yourself and shame yourself here on the show. After that, Adeola Depot, Alan Pardew here taking your calls at 6:30, and the Trans-Euro Express is here at 9. And if you fancy a little bit of Serie A tonight, jump onto the talkSPORT YouTube channel. Jamie Vardy's Cremonese take on Inter Milan from 7 o'clock on the talkSPORT YouTube channel. That's all thanks to our friends at DAZN. Sam is here. It's time now for this. It's Sam's Sound. Sam Stevens is here with a look at this morning's back pages.
Do you like this as my theme?
I think we could do better. I think
Yeah.
there's more ways of getting your personality across through music.
What person?
Oh, okay.
You said it.
Yeah.
No, I think we should. I think we should have something Scottish themed because, obviously,
Scottish theme?
Yeah, Scotland. I'm on your side, Shebahn.
You're
Or Irish.
well, he loves the Scots, because we went to the Euros together.
Oh, right, okay.
We're going to the World Cup together.
So what do you love about the Scots?
I thought their fans were very friendly and very nice and very down to earth.
Can you understand the word we say?
Sometimes I do have to sort of nudge you for a translation, but most of the time I think I get there.
Then I'll say,
All right.
they told you to get lost, you wee English.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And then I regret asking. Yeah. Most of the time. No, they were very nice to me, to be fair. Very nice to me.
I had mixed feelings when I was up in Glasgow. I got a bit of stick.
Yeah, for obvious reasons.
I was called Big Man a few times with some added words on top.
Oh, really?
From the Rangers fans, yeah? That would have been
Both.
the Rangers. So. Oh, even Celtic fans, Sam, you as well.
If you don't play well somewhere, you're going to get it. That's what it is.
yeah.
Well, put your earmuffs on, Kat.
Every football club's the same.
Hear what we say about you in the studio as well. He's deaf in one ear, so we can say whatever we want sometimes.
Absolutely.
I said to Mick McCarthy, because there was a lot of shouting from the Millwall fans yesterday when they're behind us, and I said to him, Mick, how was it like a Barnsley? Was there? He went, oh, don't. It's just as bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And you sort of think, zero tolerance. He said, if you're playing badly, you are getting it.
Yeah. Fair dues.
Now, interesting interviews with Ivan Toney in the papers this morning. The big Sunday interview all over the Sunday People. Loads of other papers have got it as well. Ronaldo inspired me to come to Saudi and I love it. It's not as easy as everyone thinks. It keeps me sharp as I want to play for England. 1 minute or 90. This is all about Ivan Toney's desire to play for England at the next World Cup. Now, we know that Harry Kane is the number one, by a million miles, don't we? And obviously the competition is fairly fierce for who might be his number two. Ollie Watkins would be the one in the hot seat, you would think, although he's now got an injury problem. Below that, Dominic Solanke, lots of talk. Thomas Frank backs him to be maybe favoured for that role. But Ivan Toney putting himself in the window, Cass. And I want to ask you, as somebody who has played much of his career playing abroad, did it ever affect your international hopes when you moved to different countries to play? Or was it a case of that you were your manager knew what was going on and it was okay?
Yeah, I mean, look, there was I was playing in the French league. So, yeah, I was called... from really all my time in France, I was still called up for international duty up until 2000, until I retired. I was called in. But then look, the depth of the Irish squad compared to what England have, there's a huge difference.
Do you think they embraced the fact that you were playing in a different league, though? Or do you think they said
I was
different styles and all that sort of stuff?
Well, first of all, I was playing week in, week out. I was scoring goals, which was another plus, and then. Obviously, I got chances to play. I came over and played against Lithuania for Mick McCarthy and got a couple of goals, played in the Belgian playoffs. And, so you just, if you're performing, even, to a level that a manager still goes, he's still useful to me. I don't know how Ivan's doing. Do you know?
He finished his debut season with 30 goals and lifted the Asian Champions League title last year.
30 goals is
This
great,
season he's doing pretty well, I think, although I haven't got the numbers to hand, but I'm sure.
I mean, I don't know, because this could be a personal thing with Thomas Tuchel. Will he want to go to or take a player that's playing his football in Saudi Arabia? I don't know.
He's got 56 in 72 for Al.
Yes, he's
doing very well.
He's doing his job. I mean, can't take that away from him. But just to add to that, I mean, last international break, the focus was on will Danny Welbeck get called up.
Yeah.
You know, he's playing in the Premier League. Apparently, Tom Tuchel never reached out to him.
No.
So, with no disrespect to Ivan Toney, you can't rule it out. I mean, the numbers are unbelievable, to be fair to him. But if Thomas Tuchel isn't looking at Danny Welbeck playing in the Premier League, scoring goals, doing his job for Brighton, why would he look as far as Ivan Toney?
Yeah, and again, a lot of this is to do with, and he's talked about this in recent weeks, isn't he, Thomas Tuchel, the right characters. I'm not saying Ivan Toney isn't, by the way, but somebody who, especially if you know you're going, it's a bit like we heard Brad Friedel earlier before this program talking about being a number 2 goalkeeper and the challenges of that. Well, this is the challenge of being a number 2 striker. If you know you're basically not going to play, you might get a few minutes off the bench. You've got to be the right character.
Okay, so if Dominic Solanke had a good end to the season, you know, playing in the Premier League and gets goals for Spurs, would he have a chance? I would say yes.
I would say he should. You should say Welbeck should as well. But Welbeck is older now. That could be the only thing.
Yeah, the older one is a problem because you do have other choices. He'll have Ollie Watkins as a choice. You could have Solanke as a choice. So, you know, whether that gets you further up the ladder, I don't know.
Yeah, piece of Alice's Gold in the Mirror this morning. Of course, it's for Thomas Tuchel and his staff to take that decision in the end. This is talking to Thomas Frank from Spurs about Solanke. I think Dom, 100% fit, sharp and performing, should be in the mix. I don't know how many strikers, clear number 9s, England want to bring, but he definitely should be in that mix.
I wouldn't be surprised. Look, it depends on how his end of the season goes, because he's had a pretty serious injury, hasn't he, that's kept him out of football.
That's been a shame. You know, you do wonder how it would have been had the injuries not happened.
I agree, and it's the same for a lot of players, isn't it? You thought Cole Palmer, you sort of think he might not be on the plane because of the fact that he's had injuries, and you can't really be relying on players who've been injury prone throughout the course of the season, but they play so much football, the chances are they will be in the injury risk zone, won't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
For squads. Another interesting piece today in the Telegraph: why possession is cursed for United. They play Fulham today. We'll preview the game in a bit more detail later on. Man United fans may be basking in the euphoria of sparkling wins over Man City and Arsenal, but at Old Trafford, no one's been getting it carried away. We have to keep it going now, was one message from high up at the club. The biggest test is this weekend. Fulham at home this afternoon marks the start of a run of games when United, not the opposition, are expected to be the protagonists, and the club's hierarchy are well aware this is where the team have run into difficulties in recent seasons. There's a really interesting piece, Cass, that whenever United haven't had the most possession in a game, and there's a big graphic that the Telegraph have done here, generally speaking, they win, and if they don't, they draw. Occasionally, they'll lose. For example, earlier on in the season against Man City, but that was the only time in sort of 10 or 11 games where they haven't had more of the ball and they've still managed to win. But when they have had a lot of the ball, so for example, a few times last season where they've had over 65%, over 70% possession, they often lose because they struggle to break teams down. So do you think this is now the real challenge for Michael Carrick to show whether or not he's capable of getting this job?
Well, possession it's a good thing to have the ball. It's just that if you're a team that does never take a risk, and the possession is being based on the 2 centre-halves having the ball more often than not and just passing it sideways and backwards, then that doesn't hurt the opposition. You have to play with purpose. That's for me. Look, the best teams I've ever played against, I'd say Holland was one of them. Denmark, in my early part of my career, when they beat us 4-1 in Dublin.
Yeah.
I would say them two teams, and then club teams likewise, the very, very best from Liverpool to Manchester, especially Manchester United in my time, is that when they got possession, they had it. If they lost it, they got it back quick.
Yeah.
It's getting it back.
Yeah.
You know, if they do give away the ball, because the very best players can keep the ball.
Yeah, but you've also got to be dynamic when you've got it, haven't you?
Absolutely, and you play with purpose. I think there's needless possession sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially in the modern game.
Shebahn, we know that, Carrick's got off to the most unbelievable start. I don't think any United fan in their wildest dreams expects them to win both games, but we all sort of feel this is the real test today, don't we?
It really is. And Fulham, have been unbelievably good this season, 6th against 7th in the Premier League. If it's a win for Man United, which I actually think it will be, I just think fair play, great stuff. Let's keep going. In fact, a couple of guys in the office saying if United go and keep winning their next 10 games, I'm not going to say it out loud, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not getting ahead of myself.
You know what
just saying.
Manchester United fans have got? They still got that 12-point deficit from the Newcastle
Absolutely.
Just
gone by,
say
which
it.
was in February. which they still won.
Indeed.
Sam, thank you very much. Yes, 2:00 this afternoon, Man United against Fulham. I'm looking forward to it. I am indeed. Massive wins for Arsenal yesterday against Leeds. We'll get into that and we'll continue to build up to today's Premier League action and get into that rather pointed social media post by Jean-Philippe Mateta. Emojis saying it all. Good morning.
I'm doing this gig up a ski slope, end of season in Austria, and I'm with my dad, and we're travelling down to the gondola. It's a big gig, but we'll get up there in a gondola, and my security goes, Maradona's here, and he wants to say hello to you. I'm like, Maradona in Austria? I'm like, yeah, get out of the car, and there's Maradona. And like, you know, I don't speak Spanish. And, you know, but we're very happy to see each other, and we have our pictures taken together, and we go up in the gondola, and my dad's like, what's your life like, son? I go, it's amazing, isn't it? People like Maradona want to come and see me, And then 2 days later, I'm looking at the news on the Mac, and Maradona is at the Chelsea game. And that Maradona hasn't got a beard at the Chelsea game. That wasn't Maradona that I met.
No, it was.
It was an imposter.
What, claiming to be Maradona?
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. You ever been scammed like that?
Not like that. Maradona come
Didn't you scam someone though, didn't you?
What was that? What
it was a
lot of people.
Aguero, Solskjaer, Deeney, Watkins. Sure, you know all about those last-minute goals, but have you heard the one about the on-loan goalkeeper who saved his temporary employers from disappearing out the Football League and into almost certain financial oblivion? Back in 1999, Carlisle United, managed by Nigel Pearson, were fighting to stay in the Football League. Carlisle's finances were precarious with a capital P that season, leading to a scenario where, with 3 games to go, they had to ask the FA to sanction an emergency loan deal to bring in a goalkeeper. Swindon Town's Jimmy Glass arrived at the club. His efforts in his first 2 games earned the Cumbrians 2 draws. Those vital points meant that Carlisle went into their final game of the Division 3 season, now League 2, needing to beat mid-table Plymouth Argyle in front of their own fans and hope their relegation rival Scarborough didn't win against Peterborough at home. The game at the McCain Stadium finished 1-1, and with the same scoreline at Brunton Park deep into injury time, Scarborough's fans invaded the pitch en masse, believing their Football League status was secure, convinced they'd done enough to stay up. However, there'd be one more plot twist. Carlisle won a corner in the dying seconds, and up came Jimmy Glass. In one of those you couldn't make it up moments, Glass scored from a rebounded header and was promptly swamped by teammates and thousands of fans who quite simply couldn't believe what they'd just witnessed. As for Jimmy Glass, he became an overnight celebrity, but he never played for Carlisle again, and his playing career never really kicked on after that defining moment. He took on various jobs outside of football before finding his way back into the sport as player liaison officer at Eddie Howe's Bournemouth.
Good morning, it's the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. My name's Shebahn Aherne alongside former Chelsea and Celtic striker Tony Cascarino.
Good morning.
Liverpool roared back into the top 5 with a 4-1 thrashing of Newcastle last night.
Pope, who drops it at the feet of Canate, who angles it back past the goalkeeper and in. It's 4-1 to Liverpool, and a very popular Ibrahima Canate scores.
Where's that Liverpool been? You're back. You're looking at Champions League football. 03717 22 33 44. We'll assess all of yesterday's action, including Chelsea coming from 2-0 down to defeat West Ham with a very late show.
Chelsea 3, West Ham 2. Enzo Fernandez, the skipper, to get Chelsea right out of trouble here.
Has that failure to hold on cost West Ham a place in the Premier League? West Ham fan, the floor is yours. 03717 22 33 44. Arsenal moves 7 points clear. We'll build up to what's happening today. We've got 4 games, including a massive one at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Can Spurs do their bitter rivals a favour as they host at title-chasing Manchester City? Spurs fans, do you really want their team to lose?
If I want Tottenham to lose and it stops Arsenal from winning the league and we don't get relegated, I'd take it all day long. I'd happily lose.
The shade is real. We want to hear from you. Are you an Arsenal fan supporting Spurs today, or can you just never let that happen? 81089 03717 22 33 44. All the updates from that game on Game Day Live from 1:30. Lots to get into. Another crazy day in the EFL, and we've got updates on the way from the men's final at the Australian Open. It's the Weekend Sports Breakfast on talkSPORT. Hour 2, Cass, how you feeling?
Yeah, good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to some discussions about the Arsenal, because we haven't really talked about them, and the big victory yesterday.
Massive victory.
Yeah.
By the way, I was watching the game last night and I was like, God, Cass was spot on about everything yesterday.
Was I?
Yeah, everything. You were spot on about players that you spoke about, spot on about results that you predicted.
Oh.
I'm glad I remember.
Keep telling me.
You'll go far.
I said yesterday that I thought Arsenal going to Leeds United was the perfect game for them, because it's a challenge. You know what the atmosphere is going to be like. You know how big and strong Leeds are as a team, physical. And Arteta doesn't need that much of a team talk before that game. It's a bounce-back game that you just know. If you match them, and Arsenal clearly did, and more, Arsenal, everyone talks about lack of goals in forward areas. Arsenal are the second highest goal scorers in the Premier League.
Yeah, but like 17th from open play.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised if Arsenal do a number of tonkins to teams. I wouldn't be surprised if they hammer a few teams in the running.
We'll see what happens.
Because they're capable. They haven't really done it in the early part of the season.
Yeah. But we know they do that when remember last season they were beating teams 5 goals, 6 goals at a time.
I wouldn't be surprised if they do it
in
the second part of the season, where you go, they've beaten a good few teams up.
There's Taylor Nicholson. Morning, guys. Nothing on Arsenal this morning after an impressive win at Leeds. You must only want to shut us down. Calm down, Taylor. Stop being a crying Arsenal fan. You're part of the problem, okay? Lighten up, pal. Right, let's go on to what happened last night on social media, because Jean-Philippe Mateta, if you followed him, posted a story of a little emoji face with the steam coming out of his nose, showing maybe frustrations. I also looked it up on ChatGPT, what this emoji actually means, and apparently it can mean determination, I'm fired up, I'm frustration, with mild annoyance, I'm proud, playful sass.
It's a lot of meanings there.
It's a lot of meanings in an emoji. Sometimes I look at messages I get and I'm like, what do they mean by that emoji? Anyway, it's all kicked off because it feels like there might be some frustrations around the potential move to Inter Milan from Palace. The word is that he's been told he can only join Milan if Palace sign a replacement before tomorrow's 7 p.m. deadline. This comes ahead of the crucial game for Palace away to fellow relegation rivals Nottingham Forest. El Clasico. Nothing to do with our cast. Yeah, fine. Let's get more on this now. We can look ahead to a new venture on talkSPORT tonight. Live Serie A. On our YouTube channel tonight, Cremonese host Inter Milan. Italian football expert Daniele Fisichella is with us now. Daniela, good morning to you. Shall we start with this Mateta move? I mean, what do you know?
I know that Milan have agreed personal terms with the player at the moment at Palace, and they will be very keen to sign him. However, Milan, yes, of course, will need a striker right now, but having just acquired Niklas Füllkrug from West Ham, let's say they're not in a desperate need for one, so they could even wait for the deal to come in fruition in June. Of course, should that happen sooner, it will start a sort of a domino effect, as you remember. So Palace will have to sign a replacement. And on the other hand, Milan will probably let Christopher Nkunku, which they signed only this summer for a hefty price, but hasn't quite hit the ground running. So they will let Christopher Nkunku go, who could then go to Roma, and the domino continues. Let's say Milan see it as an opportunity to sign Mateta right now, but only if the price is right. Otherwise, if they got an agreement in principle with the player, they can wait until June, and that would be a good coup for them. Absolutely, I think Mateta will be extremely successful in Italy, as he's been in the Premier League.
And Daniel, tell us, because AC Milan love to go for a very experienced striker. They've done it with players like Giroud, Ibrahimovic, and many others. They tend to want that experience in their forward line.
Yeah, they do, and it is a team that at the moment is quite young in some of their personnel, excluding, of course, 40 years old Luka Modric, but they do need a bit of experience there, and they feel, they haven't filled the number 9 role for a while. Yes, you do remind correctly Giroud, Ibrahimovic, but only for a few seasons, for a couple of seasons. I do feel AC Milan need a number 9 as they used to have in the past. Probably the greatest one was Filippo Inzaghi, to stay there longer, 3, 4, 5 years. And I think they identified a good profile here in Mateta. He will get them something different from what they actually got, somebody able to run in behind, more powerful in terms of physiques, perhaps a better, stronger presence in the area. So it would be a really good signing for them. They have struggled in that department, as you rightly said, for the last few seasons.
Tell us about Forest having an interest in an Inter player.
Yeah, Davide Frattesi is been an outcast this season. Only started one league game for Inter. So tonight, of course, 6 p.m. Inter playing at Cremona. Yeah, live on talkSPORT YouTube channel. And Forest fans, watch out whether Frattesi is in the starting lineup. I don't think he will be. He's on the bench. Unlikely, and that probably could suggest a loan move to the Premier League. It is a player that has been talked as one of the best, the biggest next thing for Italy football in the last 3 or 4 seasons. But his move from Sassuolo to Inter didn't quite fulfill the expectation. Nonetheless, he was the scorer of the 4-3 goal in the famous semi-final against Barcelona last season. So obviously holds a special place in Italian football and Inter fans' memory. But he's never been a regular starter for Inter. Unlike for the Italian national team, he's done slightly better. He's a box-to-box midfielder with a great timing coming into the opposition box. Therefore, he scored few goals, but not always present within the 90 minutes. And that's why the Inter Milan manager, Cristian Chivo, doesn't quite trust him in big games. But Inter will be willing to offload him, obviously, if they can get a replacement. And the top name on the list is Curtis Jones from Liverpool, but if it happens, it will be, of course, touch and go in the last day of the transfer market.
Okay, and do you think Jamie Vardy will be having a party?
Well, if he's having a party, Cremonese have a good chance of defeating the league leaders. Yeah. Jamie Vardy is doing well in Italy. He scored 5 goals, which might not sound much, but is the 25% of Cremonese's output so far. So they are not a high-scoring team, and he's definitely contributed. The worrying sign for Cremonese is that if Vardy doesn't have a party, they don't score, they don't win. The last 2 goals Cremonese scored this season, one was scored by Vardy and one was assisted by Jamie Vardy, who, by the way, in December was voted the player of the month in Serie A, the first ever Englishman to win that accolade. Wow. So he has succeeded where David Beckham, Fikayo Tomori, Loftus-Cheek haven't succeeded. But for Cremonese, the Vardy's contribution, it's crucial. It is a team that has not won in the last 8 games of the season, got recently thrashed by Juventus 5-0. Vardy's deal is 1 year, so his contract is up is up in the summer. But if Cremonese stays up, which they haven't managed to do it in the last 30 seasons in Serie A, then Vardy might stay. He's a cult figure anyway in Italy. It's not unusual to see Italian fans with the Leicester shirt. It's not unusual to see Leicester fans going to the Cremonese stadium.
Good. Well, we're glad it's going well. Daniele Fisichella, thank you so much for your time today.
Speak soon. Bye-bye.
We'll speak with you again soon. In fact, we'll probably hear Daniela on transfer deadline dates tomorrow. We've got talkSPORT breakfast across it all, and then Jim White is here for a deadline day special. He's also back on Trans Euro Express tonight. Daniela Fisichella with all the updates from Italy. By the way, if you fancy Italian football, Cremonese take on Inter Milan from 5 o'clock on the talkSPORT YouTube channel. Give us a wee subscribe, and you can watch the game there. Time now for this.
Win a trip to South Africa with the Barmy Army on talkSPORT.
This is absolutely brilliant. We're looking forward to the better weather. We'll fast forward to the 2027 New Year's test. England are back in South Africa and the Barmy Army is going there too. You could be with them with the official Barmy Army. All thanks to them. We're giving you a week for 2 at the New Year's test. We've got flights, hotel and spending money all covered. Here's how you can get involved with this brilliant competition. For your chance to win, text WIN to 83338. Text a £2.50 plus your one standard network rate, or you can call this number 0343 418 7260. That's 0343 418 7260. The lines close this Friday at 4 o'clock. If your phone rings, it could be us, so make sure you answer for your chance to win. It's 18 plus, UK residents only, a full network promotion. If you want the T's and C's, they're on our website at talksport.com. Trip to the New Year's test in 2027 in Cape Town. Flights, accommodation, spending money, all sorted with us and the Barmy Army. Text WIN to 83338 now. Good luck to you. Coming up for you next, stand by Arsenal fans. Fear not, we haven't forgotten you. We'll focus on your massive win over Leeds yesterday.
They seem like a different team. You know, Fernandes is picking the ball up in air as he wants to, and it looks like he's controlling that midfield. You know, you've got Mainu who's come back into it. He's really, you know, amazing performances, really, when he hasn't played in the Premier League since probably May, isn't it? Something like that. So, you know, certain players have come back in, Ben, and, you know, it looks like they've been let off the leash. And some of the goals against against Arsenal, Cunha's goal was a fantastic winner. But even the second and first goal, Burmo took it so well.
Yeah, I think United have had these players. They've had
players that are verging on the edge of world class. They've had them for the last couple of seasons, but they just haven't been able to show it. They haven't been able to go out there and express themselves and play with a smile on the face. I know this system. We all know this system didn't really suit Man United with 3 at the back, and it wasn't rocket science to change it to 4. It really wasn't. So I think everybody is just is on board with this kind of confidence, and now everybody. But you look at the fixtures they've got as well: Spurs, West Ham, Everton, Palace. The next 4 games. That guy, the one who hasn't cut his hair for a while, the United Strand guy.
Strand, yeah.
I'm thinking that he doesn't want these to be wins, you know. I'm thinking, like, what's he going to do for content afterwards? So,
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We're taking you through what should be another busy day of football.
Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
How would you get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
It's for the way you look at me. Oh. It's for the only one I see. V is very, very extraordinary. E is even more than anyone that you adore.
Good morning, it's the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne and former Celtic striker Tony Cascarino. How many days to Valentine's Day? This is an easy one now.
Go on.
Don't you dare forget.
I've got 14 days, haven't I?
Yeah, but don't forget.
No, I won't forget.
Looking out for my gal Jo. Remember the flowers, write a nice card. Don't forget the card.
Are you mad on Valentine's Day?
No, God, no. Wouldn't mind a card, though.
When you're younger, does it matter?
When you're young? Oh, God, yeah, because you feel like you're, liked.
Do you know what? I got a card years and years ago. I never knew it was from, but I can remember the line in it, it was to a devil, from a devil, and who the devil am I?
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
You never found out who it was?
Never found out who it was. Just got this card randomly come through, and I remember them lines in it. I'm thinking, and when you rattle your brain, you think, who has sent me that?
It was me. Surprise!
You'd have done well. You're doing about 4 at the time.
Not weird at all, then. Well, football fans and Liverpool fans especially, Premier League giants flogging footy-themed gifts to help loved-up fans seal the deal this Valentine's Day. Liverpool fans could buy an LFC Champions watch, and City fans are punting a range of gifts including a pendant and a chain for £15. Forest fans can gamble on a gold signet ring, £25. And Craven Cottage romantics can splash the cash on sterling Silvercrest Fulham-themed earrings for £30. Would Joe like it if you got her like a football? No.
No,
I've got it.
I'm pretty sure. Would you like a football?
I just don't ever think he would get me something like that. But I remember DJing at a wedding years ago. A lovely couple. He was a Rangers fan. She was a Celtic fan. And she was asking me to play Celtic tunes and he was asking me to play Rangers tunes. I remember thinking, this could kick off. And she had these beautiful shoes on with his name on them, but then she had them all encrusted, like Diamante encrusted shoes with like the shamrock and stuff.
Right,
and,
okay.
you know, it was really, really cute. And I thought, oh, they're beautiful shoes, like really, really nice little bits of detail. But I mean, the amount of people I know who have been given gifts from their loved ones that are all football theme related.
Yeah, I don't think that will go down too much.
You could just give her one of your
I'm at a
shirts.
certain age. Valentine's Day it's for the younger people, the younger generation. Generally.
No, don't.
It is,
Listen,
Shebahn.
Cass.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not right. This is why you're on your third man. Okay. Seriously.
Let's talk Arsenal.
But it does matter. Make sure you just do it right. Okay. Let's focus on Arsenal now. They were loved up yesterday, bouncing back from their defeat to Manchester United last Sunday. Smashed Leeds at Ellen Road 4-0. Zubamendi an own goal from Carl Darlow. Victor Gyökeres, Gabby Jesus all scored for the Gunners to move them 7 points clear at the top of the table ahead of today's games. Cash, you had no doubts. You called this one yesterday.
Yeah, like I said, just a perfect game. You lose dramatically at home to Manchester United, and you want a toughie. You want an away game to go, we need to prove to everybody we're the real deal. And that was, for me, the Leeds game yesterday. And I thought look, Saka gets injured and Noni Madueke comes into the team, outstanding. You know, if he's on and he goes at players and defenders can have a nightmare against him because he's so direct. And he was yesterday. I thought Zubamendi, after giving away a terrible pass against Manchester United, and when it made it 1-1, him getting the first goal, the header. Gyökeres now has got 4 in the last 6 games, so it's a big plus for him. Took his goal really well, again from a Trossard pass, because Trossard just does that for fun. And no, I just thought it was a game that I really felt Arsenal would win and wouldn't be as much trouble. Did I think it'd be 4-0? No, but I did think Arsenal would win comfortably in a way.
Yeah, and finding
2-0.
shooting boots as well. Noni Madueke getting good praise from Arteta. Yes,
I tell you should get a lot of praise as well, because I thought Gabriel handled Calvert-Lewin really well.
Yeah.
It was like the wall brick, just so rock solid.
Is this the kind of competition that Saka needs to see Madueke playing the way that he is?
It doesn't do you any harm to have players who come in and, you know, and Saka would be delighted he played really well. You know, if they were a team, a United team that, look, Saka's a really good player and he's taken a bit of stick of, I feel, unfair. If you take of what he's done at Arsenal over the years, I think Saka's a really good player and he can make the difference. And look, having competition is perfect for Arsenal. You know, whether it's now Gabriel Jesus being fit and that puts pressure on Gyökeres and now he starts scoring, Madueke gets into the team, now he has to perform to a certain level. Yeah. It's great problems for Mikel Arteta.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes for him. He hobbled off in the warm-up, didn't he, yesterday? We touched on this also, but is Saka guaranteed his spot in the England team?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. I've always liked him. And you look, your career is never all like, you hit the numbers all the time, every season. You have your downtime periods. But Saka's also played very well this year. He wouldn't be in the Arsenal team, you know, as a starter week in, week out if he hadn't played well enough, because Arteta would have changed. He had the options for changing players and he hasn't.
And in the past, you've really noticed when he's not been there. You know, when he has been injured, he's such a missed player when he's not in the squad. Listen, they've built a great squad there. They're fighting on all fronts when you look at what's to come for them. I mean, quadruple is still in the conversation.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be thinking about that. I'd be just thinking...
One game at a time.
Absolutely, Shebahn. You've got what they've got now. They've got 14 games to go in the Premier League. They've got a lead. Now, it could be bigger, depending what Tottenham do against Man City today. And obviously, Villa got are very close. So they've done what they had to do.
Okay. I wonder what Tony Adams will be thinking, the invincible and former captain. Tony Adams is going to be live on the Sunday edition from 9 o'clock this morning with Sean Custis and Henry Winter here on talkSPORT. So we'll get his thoughts. That'll be absolutely brilliant. Mr. Arsenal, Tony Adams, here on the Sunday edition from 9 o'clock just after us this morning. You're listening to The Weekend Breakfast. Coming up next, we'll get the latest in the transfer window with a day to go. It's going to slam shut tomorrow evening. We're going to have it all covered here on talkSPORT.
Looking at the points, they're on the same points as Crystal Palace. They're 2 in front of Leeds. They're 3 in front of Forest. They're 8 ahead of West Ham. They haven't won, though, in any of their last 5 games in the Premier League when they've played Burnley, West Ham, Bournemouth, Sunderland and Brentford. And the next 7 fixtures that they've got look pretty tricky. City at home at the weekend, United away, Newcastle at home, Arsenal at home, Fulham away, Palace at home, Liverpool away, straight after the international break, plus the Champions League fixtures thrown into that. Are they too good to get dragged into a relegation battle?
I think they are. And I think a bigger problem for them as well, Sam, is, like Crookie said there, some of these players are turning up in the Champions League. But are you looking at Simmons and saying, look at the standard of players you're playing against in the Champions League? As well. Yeah, Moyes hasn't scored in the Premier League yet. But they're 10 points off Manchester United in 4th position. If I'm the hierarchy at Spurs, I'm saying we want to get back-to-back Champions League seasons. Not going to happen this season because they're miles off.
Can you see them getting back into contention for a European place?
No.
With games against City, United, Newcastle, Arsenal, Fulham and Palace and Liverpool over the next...
They could easily not win a game out of all those games.
You all right? You're listening to the Weekend Breakfast on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne and a little bit dusty Tony Cascarino. An hour and a half to go and then you can get to your pit.
Long day.
Late night, but a good day all the same for our Cas. Your headlines this morning: Marcus Rashford on target once again. Barcelona now moved 4 points clear at the top of La Liga. Nottingham Forest have agreed a deal for Manchester City goalkeeper Stefan Ortega worth up to $500,000. He's out of contract this summer and is yet to feature for Pep Guardiola's side this season. And Swindon boss Ian Holloway launched into an all-time rant at the FA last night after finding out that captain Ollie Clark was banned less than 24 hours before their game with Barrow yesterday. The Robins were fined £1,000 for fielding Clark in the EFL trophy tie at Luton, believing a 7-game ban he was subject to at the time did not apply to that competition. This happens, doesn't it? It does. It happens now and then where they don't realise the player's banned and it happens. I'm pretty sure
mix-ups.
Yeah, it happened to my sister once. Like, she played a game that she was meant to be banned from and then in the end they took a fine as well. It does. It happens.
Happens in the FA Cup sometimes when players are selected.
Yeah, Ollie said, we've had a terrible blow when I was told at 5 o'clock that my captain couldn't play after we prepared him with the team. I've rung the League Managers Association to complain. I think it's so unprofessional. They want to fine me? Good. They want to ban me? Good. Do it. Have a look at yourself, every single one of you. It's absolutely disgusting. I love him. I love him. He's great crack. He is. But I mean, yeah, bit of a shambles how that's worked out. And in terms of the rules, I mean, there was these rules happen kind of thing. If you're banned from a game, you're banned from a game. Sometimes it can cross over into different competitions. But I don't know if you've seen this clip of David Moyes running around.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I mean, when Everton got the equaliser. I mean, personally, I think it's maybe the cutest thing I've ever watched, of him having that little celebrating and running onto the pitch just ever so slightly. Then he gets a yellow from it.
Well, look, David Moyes has been in the game a hell of a long time. I played against him when he was at Dunfermline, and normally he doesn't react to anything. You see him every now and again. I used to call him a bit like Martin Keown, Chucky, with the eyes, you know, Martin Keown eyes, and David Moyes has had a similar look about him. And look, he's seen it all, but it tells you how much it still means to him that the 96th minute equaliser that goes in, and he's absolutely just gets lost in the moment. It's just brilliant, isn't it? And you see that now and again. And and it's a big time for David Moyes because he's gone back to Everton. They've got this new stadium. Expectation is higher, and he wants to somehow implement, you know, whatever he can to improve the football club and getting results along the way. And you know, David Moyes is doing a great job.
Yeah, I mean, he really is. Sam, how many places is it in Europe this season? How many places in the Premier League table? Can go 7. So I mean, he's in 8th just now.
Didn't you want to ask me that?
Did you know that off the top of your head?
I would have said 7.
You would have said 7? Because last year there was more, wasn't there? Was it drop down to 8 last year? He's sitting in 8th just now. You know,
so, Sam, Shebahn's ignored the football and gone. I do.
No, you
I was
don't.
about to. Well, you know that. Look, there's 4 Champions League spots, but there's probably 5 because of the.
No, I know that, and then Europa League and Conference League. But was there not more last year, or have I just?
There might have been an extra one because sometimes an extra place isn't there available.
I mean, the fact that he's pushing for a place in European football.
Yeah,
it's magic.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, Everton have been fighting relegation for the last couple of years, haven't they, Sam?
Sam, do me a favour. Wheel him out of here, will we? I'm only joking, Cass. You're on form today. But yeah, David Moyes, I mean, getting a yellow after that celebration yesterday.
I loved it.
Press conference is hilarious.
You know, it's that cringy sort of moment. You thought, oh, don't, David, don't.
It's like the little hop skips, tiny hop skips. But he spoke about it in the press conference as well.
David Pleat done a similar thing with Luton when they survived many, many moons ago. He ran on the pitch and he had his arms going. He was going crazy. They won at Man City and it kept them up. And it was that. I know that isn't the case with David Moyes yesterday, but it's look, managers have huge scrutiny on them all the time.
And then they enjoy it and then it's punished.
Yeah. He gets booked.
Yeah.
He won't care.
Right, time now to get the latest transfer news with Intuit QuickBooks.
Transfer window. Breaking news on talkSPORT with Intuit QuickBooks. Tackle your self-assessment and business admin with ease all year round. Search QuickBooks to find out more.
And for all the latest, we can speak to talkSPORT's transfer guru, Ben Jacobs, back with us this morning. Morning, Ben.
Hi, Ben.
Morning.
Oh, I'm in trouble with a big man.
Tell us, Ben, are we going to get a special last day?
With Mateta, maybe?
Yeah, I think today, tomorrow. So we're either going to get pre-deadline day or deadline day, but Jean-Philippe Mateta is going to be the one to watch. He wants Milan. So Milan basically think that they've got an agreement in principle as far as the finances are concerned. But Crystal Palace need to find a replacement. Now, you would think that's Jürgen Strand-Larsen. It's not Evan Gessand, because Palace's perspective is that they always wanted a younger forward. So another name, a more established player, has to arrive as well. And the challenge with Jürgen Strand-Larsen is if Mateta is sanctioned, likely in the 30 millions, not the 40 millions, then Palace would like to get the number of a 45 plus 5 package for Strand-Larsen down as well, to offset the fact that basically if they give Mateta his move to Milan, which is his dream destination, it will be cut price. Whereas Strand-Larsen is actually up to, some sources believe, 10 million more than Wolves would have sold for in the early part of the window when West Ham came calling and bid 40 million. So Palace don't want the rough end of the deal here, where they overpay for Strand-Larsen and they give Milan a bargain for Mateta. So they're kind of intertwined, but Mateta wants Milan. He's agreed personal terms, and there is a realistic chance today or tomorrow that move happens.
And what about the emoji as well, Ben? I mean, you must make your job easier when a footballer puts up an emoji.
I mean, if they're going to be cryptic, it only adds to the intrigue and the drama. But obviously the interpretation is that that is related to Mateta wanting this move. We know from Oliver Glasner, he's not in the right frame of mind to play this weekend. So there's a bit of games going on. Okay. But what I would say, we saw it with, for example, Johan Wissa making a statement and Alexander Isak also over the summer. When a footballer turns to social media, usually whether cryptic or not cryptic, it's because there's a problem. It's because they want to use that platform to force something if they possibly can. So it may look like neatly he's off to Milan, but when they turn to social media, it usually tells you there is a complication. I think this one might get over the line, but Mateta's exit, should he leave Crystal Palace, definitely has an element now of acrimony to it.
Sam, tell us what you've made of this transfer window, because all transfer windows are different. Whether it's summer and the winter, you can see huge spending sometimes and you can see it quieter. What have you made of this one?
You
what
just called him Sam.
Oh, no, Ben, sorry. Sorry, Ben.
Ben, Sam, it doesn't really matter.
Ben,
very similar, to be fair.
What have you made of it, Ben, as in a window that, always seem to be changing, evolving, don't they?
Yeah, thanks for the question, Mark. And the window was very interesting. The window is very interesting because it wasn't really transfer focused at the beginning. We saw managerial merry-go-rounds that I think was completely unexpected. So Enzo Maresca leaving Chelsea New Year's Eve, New Year's Day was something that escalated really quickly. Then Ruben Amorim seemingly in his last few press conferences showing that all was not right at Manchester United, but Jim Ratcliffe had said that he was going to get 3 years, and after that interview he got 3 months. Xabi Alonso leaving Real Madrid, Wilfried Nancy unfortunately not working at Celtic. So it was all about managers in the early part of the window. And then Antoine Semenyo, expected, Man United, Man City, City winning that race, no real surprise, because Semenyo wanted kind of like trophies and the ability to play under Pep. He didn't want a longer term project, he wanted something for the now, and his age is probably part of that. And Mark Gahey was a little bit of a surprise, because we were led to believe at the beginning of the window he might wait and leave as a free transfer and then pick what club he wanted with sort of better terms. And Man City were really aggressive and they got him now. And then other than that, a little bit quiet for certain clubs. Chelsea are starting to do stuff in the final days of the window. Liverpool haven't done much yet, despite the fact they've got injuries. The same can be said for Newcastle United as well. Conor Gallagher to Spurs was a bit of a surprise too. So it's been a good window, but it's maybe in terms of volume of traffic not been as big as many were expecting after a massive summer for several clubs. And that's probably why. If you spend big in the summer, you maybe are going to have a more quiet January in the immediate window that follows.
Yeah.
And what's the chat with Curtis Jones?
I don't think he's going anywhere. So Inter would like Curtis Jones. Tottenham had looked at Jones as well before Conor Gallagher arrived. But Liverpool's position is clear that he's not for sale. They're not expecting any senior outgoings this window. And if Liverpool sign somebody now, it will be last minute. It will be opportunistic. It will be quite un-Liverpool-like. And that kind of deal will, I'm told, be temporary or nobody will arrive. If they sign somebody permanently, it's going to be for the summer. And I say for the summer because Liverpool are in the race for Jeremy Jacquet. Chelsea are really pushing as well. And I think if we are going to get a massive twist away from Mateta, it'll be some kind of clarity over the future of Jeremy Jacquet, highly rated, but Rennes don't want to sell now. Okay. So either Chelsea have got to do what they did with Enzo Fernandez and with minutes left to the window, put down a crazy, crazy offer, or someone's got to pre-agree or loan back. But as soon as you pre-agree or loan back, then all of the summer suitors turn around and say, if Chelsea are doing that, maybe we need to enter the race now for the summer as well. So that's definitely going to be a big story and also could end up rumbling on into deadline day or obviously get at some point today a bit more clarity.
Well, you've a busy day ahead of you, Ben. Thank you so much
Thanks, Ben,
for coming on with us this morning. talkSPORT transfer expert Ben, also known as Sam Jacobs. Don't forget, you can be across all of the transfer news. The window closes tomorrow at 7 o'clock. We've got a special programme here on talkSPORT hosted by what's his name? Deadline Day man himself, Jim White, former Liverpool midfielder Danny Murphy, and chief football correspondent Alex Crook, all going to be here seeing you through to the window closing. Join Jim and a host of experts from 6:30. Deadline Day Drive with Andy Goldstein and Daddy Ben as well. This will get you up for it.
The countdown is on and the window is about to slam shut. Transfer deadline day is here again and the football world means business. We'll bring you the bargains, the whispers, every deal, every twist. Which superstar signing is about to shake this season to its core? The biggest breaking stories, and we bring them to you.
It's been that kind of bonkers window.
An unbelievable window.
One of the all-timers. It's been a busy transfer window.
talkSPORT keeps you in the know. This is transfer deadline day. This is talkSPORT.
All right, Jim, thank you very much for that. It's going to be a massive day. You're listening to the Weekend Sports Breakfast on talkSPORT. The Winter Olympics coming up now next week. We'll look ahead to all of that with a 2-time gold medalist next. Did you hear Ray's version this morning? Ed, have we got Ray's version of Singing Passenger? Take this in.
Arsenal have gone through an entire league campaign without losing. Played 38, won 26, lost exactly none.
Well, you only need the goals when they're running low. Only miss the net when the pressure grows. There's only one star boy by KO.
Saka off the bench to score. They are loving life at the Emirates.
Only know you've been high when you're feeling low. Please, Pep, leave us alone. Come on, Arteta, you've got to bring it home.
Jump on that boat because this is the way that we're going to live the next 4 months.
Please don't let it go.
Wonderful. Isn't that really beautiful?
I need to jump on the boat as well.
Yeah. Tickets for the unlikely pilgrimage of Harold Fry available on www.haroldfrymusical.com. You'll absolutely love this. Passenger's album One for the Road will be available on all streaming platforms alongside the official video release for the album's second single, Walk Upon the Water, featuring Kingdom Choir on YouTube, and www.haroldfrymusical.com. Like we say, you've got a stunning voice, and Ray's might just be that little bit better. Don't be...
No, look, it is.
Don't be threatened.
Let's not beat around the bush.
But Arsenal fans in for a treat
Michael,
this morning.
I've done that at 10 to 6.
Good morning to you. How's it going? It's the weekend breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne and former Republic of Ireland striker Tony Cascarino. Good morning. Some of your headlines. Lord Treesman, ex-chairman of the Football Association, has sadly passed away at the age of 82. In other news, Pierre Landry Cabore's double helped Hearts beat 9-man Dundee United, move 7 points clear at the top of the Scottish Premiership. Updates on Game Day Live today from the Scottish Prem. Hibs have Rangers, Celtic also have Falkirk. Can we close the gap? Everything crossed. And Beto scored a 97th minute winner to equalise and grab a last-ditch point for Everton away at Brighton, who are now winless in their last 10 Premier League games. Brighton boss Fabian Hurtzler has had his say on the boos from the home supporters at full time.
I'm grateful, thankful for the support during the game. I think it's part of the football game that they share their emotions, and I think we all have to be open for that, especially myself, because I'm responsible for that, and therefore I think the atmosphere was great. They can be disappointed about my decisions, about my work, but what I can promise is that I will give everything for the club, that I fully committed together with the team, and therefore I'm open for feedback, but I really appreciate their support for the team, and hopefully they keep pushing the team.
1 in 10 now for Fabian Hurtzler's Brighton. Beto getting a equaliser in the 97th cast is a heartbreak for them, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I said yesterday about Brighton, they're a dangerous team. They just can't seem to get victories. You know, they've only won 7 in the Premier League this year, or this season. And they just can't get over the line on being in great positions to get a game done and dusted.
Yeah.
You know, they could easily have 5-6 points more, Brighton. They're not going to be even close to relegation. So a funny year for them. Transitional year in so many ways.
Do you think Fabian Hurtzler's the long term for them?
Well, I think he's done a reasonably good job. They've never looked in trouble. They've always produced really good players. They've had to sell some of the stars along the way. So I'll be interested to see what they do in the summer again. You know, because they've taken in a few senior players like Welbeck, like Milner over the last couple of seasons. And Milner's obviously had injuries, but Welbeck's done a great job at 34 years old. He's done a great job for him.
Unbelievable. Premier League action today. All the updates on Game Day Live. Spurs take on Manchester City at 5:30 tonight. There are some Spurs fans out there who are hoping for their team to obviously win and beat City, but there are Arsenal fans who also want Spurs to win today, who are behind the team.
Of course you want them to win. Arsenal are chasing a trophy. It's a long time, you know, since they won it. I listened on Friday and some of the conversations when you were on with Ray Parlour, and I just was amazed. Look, Tottenham are no threat to Arsenal for a start, you know, so our Arsenal fans should be thinking, there's Tottenham, just go and get a victory for us, you know. And I think for Thomas Frank and the team and the squad, they've got to go and try and win the game because their season's not been good again. But you've got to take positives out of a season. And if it means beating City and it helps Arsenal, so be it.
Yeah. I mean, if it helps you go 9 points clear, I mean, would you be celebrating Spurs today, Arsenal fans?
See, the fans will say, some fans who think, but you don't understand how much it hurts us. You know, I've had this discussion with pals. You know, by them winning it. Well, yeah, but you set your own standards. Maybe you try and chase them down and, you know, and get results along the way.
Yeah.
You know, Spurs have had a really poor season.
Yeah.
And they're a way better squad than where they are in the table.
Yeah, you're a Spurs fan who wants your team to lose in order for City to apply more pressure on Arsenal, or you're an Arsenal fan who's supporting Spurs today. 03717 223344 81089. You can let us know your thoughts on that. Don't worry, you can remain anonymous if you would rather. Let's focus now on the Winter Olympics. It all starts on the 6th of February. And Italy, GB, haven't ever won more than 5 medals at a Winter Olympics, or more than 1 gold at a single Winter Olympics. Maybe that could change this year. Looking ahead to this one with us, 2-time Olympic gold medalist Lizzie Yarnold is with us. Good morning, Lizzie. Good to have you with us.
Hi, Lizzie.
Good morning. Good morning.
How are you getting on?
I'm doing really well. I've been out in Cortina for a few days now. It's beautiful here. It's a lovely little village where some of the events are going to happen. And it's like a bit of it's not a party environment, but everyone's getting ready for the games starting in just a few days. There's a really good energy around. The athletes are going to be coming into the village over the next few days. So, yeah, I'm very happy to be here.
Who are you looking forward to seeing and excites you this year?
Yeah, so there's potential success and loads of hope in different pockets of the Olympic sport, especially for Team GB. So this Winter Olympics in Milano Cortina is spread over Milan, the city centre. We've got Cortina as well, and Livigno for like the snow sports events. So to be honest, I am going to be watching athletes from every event. Skeleton, in my sport, we've got the 2-time world champion Matt Weston, Marcus Wyatt on the men's team, and 3 female skeleton athletes that we've never had before. You've got the curlers, you've got the snowboarders, you've got the skiers. Like, it's phenomenal. And these athletes, you know, this is their moment. They've been training for 4, 8, probably even longer years for this moment in their career. Fortunately, we have amazing funding in the UK. So the athletes are coming in with this job, this like passion is their full-time thing. This is their moment, you know. And what I love about sport is you never know what's going to happen, but this is such an important moment for them. So expect performances, expect emotions. It's going to be big.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, when they all start to pour into the village then, and that buzz starts to kick in, and everybody starts to kind of build up towards the games together, it makes us wonder if we can start to top the medals table. Recently, we did well in the bobsleigh, curling, figure skating.
Yeah.
Do you see us building on that momentum at this Winter Olympics, Lizzie?
So the building of the momentum really does start years before. So National Lottery funding have been supporting so many of these sports for many years. The bobsleigh team, Brad Hall, Adele Nichols, so she's in the monobob, which is a new event to the Olympics this year. Figure skaters, so we've got 3 pairs going out or coming here to compete. So that's really exciting. So we have strength and depth. The curlers, so we have the individual team, Team Moat, the men's team, Team Morrison, the women's team, and then the pairs team, which will be Jen Dodds and Bruce Mowat as well. So there's like lots of different ways that medals can be achieved. But for me, I think the events I always come back to snowboarding, big air, the slope style. Like, the tricks are so insane. I can't even fathom how they look down the jumps and do it and commit to it. It's extraordinary.
Lizzie, where you always have stars like Usain Bolt, Michael Johnson, many, many others. In the Winter Olympics, I can always remember a skier, Alberto Tomba. Who would be the star for you coming to this Olympics?
Honestly, I wish there were just a few. There are so many who are phenomenal. So you've got Charlotte Banks in the snowboard cross. That's when you're coming round. There's like 4 athletes at a time. She's doing individual, and she'll be in the team with Hugh Edwards as well. They'll be big stars.
Okay.
So you've got Matt Weston in the skeleton, Brad Hall, who's the pilot in the bobsleigh, and then you've got the pairs Layla Fear and Gibson on the ice skating pairs as well. Like Billy Major doing the downhill slalom racing. Dave Riding, it's now his 5th Olympic Games, so he's doing the slalom as well with Billy Major and other athletes. So, like, there's so many exciting athletes. Just pick a sport that you love that's kind of unique and strange, and get really into it.
And that's what you did. I mean, I'm just looking through your images of you doing the skeleton. I mean, Lizzie, I mean, what made you decide to do that? It's just the most wild sport. It just looks incredibly dangerous and insane, but also thrilling at the same time. And you just were an absolute superstar in it as well. Do you ever just do that for a bit of fun? Excuse me till I just dropped my scaling.
Yeah, exactly. So skeleton racing is very unique. We can't do it in the UK. I wish I could still do it, but I don't really have a sled that I can just jump on top of, because the equipment is Formula One. You know, that's national lottery funded. So much research goes into the treatment of the runners, you know, making sure the equipment is completely personalised and unique. So anyway, I got into the skeleton through UK Sport funding back in 2008 through a talent search. So it's extraordinary the ways that we get into sport, the fact that there are so many sports out there for all of us.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be an Olympian. I didn't really care which sport it was in.
Yeah, I mean, and you did it. It's incredible when you watch back those videos as well. Lizzie, good to get your build up. We'll hear from you again very, very soon, okay?
Thanks, Lizzie.
Yeah, absolutely. Take care.
Lizzie Arnold there, two-time Olympic medalist. You should be on the skeleton this morning, man. That'll cure you.
I'm fine.
Wendy, I'm fine.
I'm fine.
I'm joking. You listen to The Weekend here, The Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Coming up next, we will look ahead to the Sunday edition. Very special guest with the guys today. Tony Adams is on the way on talkSPORT at 9 o'clock.
This is Robbie Williams with Angels.
I sit and wait. Does an angel contemplate my fate? Or do they know the places where we go when we're grand old? 'Cause I've been told that salvation lets their wings unfold. So when I'm lying in my bed, thoughts running through my head, and I feel that love is dead. In your cars, on the buses, I'm loving angels instead. Everybody and through.
Dear Kitmen, we see you, we appreciate your work. While some fans reckon it's just hanging up shirts in dressing rooms, we know it's so much more. A football team's kit is its identity, its uniform, what sets it out from the rest. But it doesn't clean itself. That's not just the shirts, it's the shorts, the socks, the training gear, the boots, the other bits we sort out behind closed doors. Who's the one digging around in that smelly, stinky laundry basket at full time? Yeah, it's the kitman. They have a lot to work on in a week, from laundry, fixing damaged kit, repairing holes, cleaning boots. Then they pack the van and take everything they need off to the stadium, ready for game day. They don't get a lot of help when they get in the ground too. Kitmen are the ones unloading a full squad's worth of boots, kit, medical bags, and all the bits the players and coaches will need between the start of the day and switching off the floodlights at the end of the day. First thing they do is organise each player's kit. Make it easily accessible in order to avoid any dramas on match day. Once everything's in the right place, it's into the dressing room, lay everything out, put players' nameplates on the right locker, all the things you don't even think about on a match day. Once the players arrive, if anything needs doing, they call the kitman. In the meantime, it's on the kitman to help set up for the warm-up. The coaches don't always have time to lay out all the cones and put the balls in those weird triangle piles you see. As the warm-up is underway, the kitman then becomes a glorified ball boy, chasing stray shots and passes, making sure they aren't lost in the crowds. They eventually do the tidying up too, getting everything off the pitch before kick-off and assist the ground staff with any last-minute things they may need. After that, it's last call for the players. Then, at kick-off, they can breathe a sigh of relief for a few minutes, sit back and watch the game, enjoy the fruits of their labour. At half-time, check everyone's okay and everything's as it should be, and then wait for full-time. Once the final whistle's gone, it's time to pack everything down, get the stuff that needs to be washed in the laundry, pack up the van, back to the training ground, and ready to do it again next week. Of course, each club differs, and different staff members will have different responsibilities, but we pay tribute to all of those who do it, whether it's the glitz and glamour of the Premier League or a cold Tuesday night in Stoke.
Good morning, welcome along to the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. We're live on the YouTube channel, we're live on your smart TV as well. My name's Shebahn Aherne. Former Millwall and Chelsea striker Tony Cascarino is here.
Good morning.
Liverpool rolling back into the top 5, thrashing Newcastle 4-1.
It's back-to-back wins for Liverpool and their under-fire manager. Boy, did Arne Slot need that.
Yeah, he did indeed. Today, 4 Premier League games, including the high-flying Manchester United, who welcome Fulham. Interim boss Michael Carrick wants more of the same from the last few weeks.
A great couple of weeks, 2 big results. There's big games, bigger games coming up, and it's just keeping the mind in the right place as much as the emotions to going to the next game, in just as we have done the previous 2.
So can he make it 3 wins out of 3? Playing Fulham today, looking forward to that. A massive game also at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Can Spurs do their bitter rivals a favour as they host title-chasing Manchester City? I asked Arsenal legend Ray Parlour if he'll be cheering the Spurs today.
Yeah, I'll definitely. I would always cheer Spurs goals against the rivals around the team. And I'm sure Spurs fans would do exactly the same.
You'll cheer Spurs this weekend?
Yeah, why not?
You regretted saying that out loud. But anyway, huge day ahead. 03717 22 Arsenal fans, are you cheering on Spurs today? Let's hear from you. 81089 if you want to send us a text message. You're listening to the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Good morning. We've also got the updates from the Australian Open and the men's finals today as well. Djokovic against Alcaraz. That's going to be an absolute crack.
It's 8:30, isn't it?
Yeah, it's starting soon.
8:30, yeah.
We need to get it on the old television.
Someday.
The biggest TV in the world is just showing
It's interesting.
signals at the minute.
Yeah, I just had a chat out there with Toby, who works for us, and was saying what a feat it would be if Djokovic won. You know, it's up there with it is up there with the very best, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a big tennis fan, but you have to admire someone who's been different decades, still been at the top, and he's playing against the younger generation like Alcaraz and Sinner.
Yeah.
And at 38 years old, he's got to the final. And yes, he was a little bit fortunate that he didn't have to play as much tennis, but the match against Sinner was so grueling. You know, and he's come through a 5-setter at 38 years old.
Yeah.
And if he did it today, because Alcaraz is, like we heard yesterday, is going to set a record because he's going to be the youngest ever to get 8 Grand Slams.
That's the thing about Alcaraz and Sinner. You're seeing the new 2 come into it, but the fact that Djokovic, one of the best in the world for so many, one of the big 3, could still beat him.
And have that determination.
I like that. I like the idea of him winning that today and going, I've still got it. You young kids have your time. I've still got.
Well, they'll both of them, Sinner and Kras will both win lots of titles. That's for sure. Yeah. But if he did it again today, that was just the line in the sand. That sets the benchmark for everybody to beat.
We've got all the updates from the Australian Open, from the men's finals, live for you here on talkSPORT today. Keep posted with us, and it's time now for this. Just a wee joke, Spurs fans. You take on Manchester City today, but the word on the street is that a lot of Spurs fans maybe want to lose the game so Man City catch up in Arsenal, and then a lot of Arsenal fans are supporting Spurs to go and beat Man City so they can extend their lead at the top. The game's gone. Are you one of those people? Let's hear from you. 03717 223344. Darren, the Spurs fan, is with us. Darren, you requested that song in your introduction, didn't you?
Don't even try that.
Only joking. Darren, how do you feel about this patter that there's going to be Spurs fans doing this, like hoping their own team lose again?
They should be thrown out of the club. Because it's not 1 week at the end of the season where it truly will affect the results.
Yeah,
I can understand that, because I was that when we had it. I didn't want us to beat Man City when it was. I think it was 2 games to go, and I didn't want us to win. But this is January.
No,
this is
it's February today.
Now and embarrassing.
Yeah. This is February, actually, Darren. To be fair.
Darren, it's about Spurs ending the season well. Like you said, you're in the start of February. If you get a result, fantastic. And if Arsenal end up winning the title, you just take it on board. It's not you giving something to Arsenal fans. It's literally showing that you can end the season really well. I think you need to do that. Forget about Arsenal.
I totally agree. And this is the problem with Spurs fans. A lot of fans that go there do not support the team. They just spend the whole game booing because they've got this attitude. They just want Spurs to play a certain way. Mm-hmm. I want Spurs to win. I want them to win, and I don't care about Arsenal. This is the problem when people have the mentality that they care about their rival more than they care about their club.
Yeah, they want to be happy because of others' failure. I get what you mean with that, Darren. Thank you so much for your call today. Fingers crossed for Spurs. They're hosting Manchester City today at 5:30. The update's coming for you here on talkSPORT. I'm wondering if Arsenal legend Tony Adams will be giving a little "come on, you Spurs" today if they beat Manchester City to extend that lead to 9 points at the top of the table.
A bit like Ray on Friday. He lives in the Ray Parlour, and of course he wants Spurs to do Arsenal a favour. It's not really a favour. It's look, go out and do your job, professional. Go and put in a performance that you're entitled to win a game. Look, the rivalry for me only exists when they play each other, and people will disagree with that. But when you can have your beef and all whatever happens in them games, and just. I think because you're trying to set a standard at a football club, you mean you go after everybody and try and be like, this is what we do. Just forget about them. They're not relevant to us. They're only relevant when we play them. That's how I see it.
Tony Adams here on the Sunday edition today with Henry Winter and Sean Custis. I mean, what's your memories of playing against him?
Tony, always a battle. Look, Arsenal had really good centre-halves at Tony's time. I mean, I'm talking Martin Keown, David O'Leary, Steve Bold, Andy Linegan, who I dreaded playing against all the time, and Toney. And Toney was one of them. He loved to mix it up and battle you and fight for everything. That was what he was like. And I've never Toney ever felt to me like he was a really nasty, dirty centre-half. He was just such an honest lad on the football pitch that he just challenged and went for everything. He put his head on anything. And I played against Toney a good few times. I say I enjoyed it. It was an enjoyable battle. Don't always come out winning, do you? You have your days where you play better, but a really, really top centre-half.
When you remember those characters and playing against Arsenal, even though it looks like they could very much so win the league this season, we have said this before in the last couple of seasons, but this season they look kind of nailed on for it. They don't have those characters quite like the old.
I don't know. I think Gabriel resembles that. Saliba's more like a David O'Leary, wants to get on the ball and play a bit more. I mean, the fact that Arsenal in them days had 5. How many clubs now would have 5 great centre-halves?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Chelsea have stockpiled, but I wouldn't say they were great centre-halves. All the 5 I mentioned were top players. They're in every way. Like I said, from O'Leary to Linegan, and then you talk about Steve Bold was another handful physically. Toney, obviously. Martin was the rash. Everyone knows Martin just literally stayed with you. And I mentioned Chucky eyes. He had the old eyes staring at you. And I used to find it quite funny. I played against Martin when he was at Villa. But they all were, as you said, you could all, in different ways, they were all leaders. And Toney was probably the biggest of the leaders there because he just was Mr. Arsenal in every way.
Best Premier League captain, would you say?
He's up there, absolutely. I think, you could make a good few from, we're saying Premier League. I would certainly say you should have Van Dijk in there, John Terry, absolutely Tony Adams and others. There's been some great centre-halves around. Definitely a good few from Man United. Manchester United had a good few leading centre-halves. I always used to think Gary Pallister as a player was top-notch. Stevie Bruce was there. Then you go to Vidic. I mean, the list is endless. But you look at, Desailly at Chelsea. What a centre half he was.
Yeah.
But that for Arsenal to have 5, I think they were all there at the same time. If they weren't, it was separated by about a year or so. But 5 at one time.
And one of them with us here in the studio today on talkSPORT, Tony Adams going to be with it. Sean Custis and Henry Winter on the Sunday edition from 9 o'clock this morning. We'll get his thoughts on that. Massive win for Arsenal against Leeds yesterday. His thoughts on the title race and if he'll be supporting Spurs today. I'm sure he won't be answering that too confidently. Or maybe he will. Maybe he just does not care about them. By the way, in relation to those kind of questions, you need to jump onto the talkSPORT Daily podcast. Ollie Klink is there, joined by Spurs podcasters Ricky Sachs, Flav Bateman are there, asking the most Tottenham of Tottenham questions. Did they really want to lose against Manchester City? The guys will get into it all. Make sure you tune into the latest episode of the talkSPORT Daily podcast, available wherever it is you get your podcasts from. Here's a flavour.
You're right, it doesn't define whether or not to Arsenal win the league if we beat Man City, and I think we are going to beat Man City, by the way. I think we will beat them on Sunday. I just it doesn't bother me if we lose. We're in a kind of win-win situation as well, because if we get beat, it hurts Arsenal. They're reeling. So I wouldn't go out there and go, I'm desperate for us to lose, but if we did lose, I wouldn't have a big deal with it at all.
Think Spurs will beat City today?
I think it'll be a tough game for them. And their record against City is decent. But I'm not quite sure. Everyone is expecting Arsenal to drop points in the running. I think City are going to drop a good number of points as well. I just still think defensively, then Mark Gay is a massive signing for them, like Semenyo is. They're 2 really big ones. But Mark Gay, defensively, they absolutely need reinforcements in that area.
Listen, they're struggling with injuries as well. I mean, as are Spurs, but really struggling with injuries in Manchester City. Great game ahead today, this evening, 5:30. Spurs against Manchester City. What will that do to the title race? Arsenal fans, will you be thanking Spurs later tonight, celebrating with them in the pub?
Yeah.
Are you that weird? 0371722 3344 81089 if you want to get in touch. You're listening to The Weekend Breakfast. We'll get the latest odds with Coral next, and we'll look ahead to a massive game for Manchester United against Fulham this afternoon.
It will be an underwhelming Premier League title.
It won't be.
I think it will be.
For Arsenal. If they win the title for the first time in
But they
22
won't
years,
care.
they will not
No,
care.
they won't care,
that it's underwhelming.
but
They'll just
everyone
think it's
else
job
will.
done. Well, yeah, last year he was giving Liverpool stick for the way they went about.
And I've been
winning
proved
it.
right when you look at them this year. It wasn't.
They still won the league.
It wasn't a great Premier League
But
last
they still
year.
won the league.
Liverpool can't. That Liverpool team. That's what I said at the time. It was in March. We're at the Cheltenham Festival. I got a lot of stick from Liverpool fans, but I stand by it. You can't talk about the Liverpool team that won the league last year in the same breath as Manchester City's treble winners, United's treble winners, Jose's Chelsea, Arsenal's invincible.
But it was the first season in their development. It's like this season for Arsenal. This is the first season that they're going to put some silverware on the board. So you don't just automatically put them into a bracket with some of the greatest teams that have ever graced the Premier League. That happens over a longer period of time. It may well be that after that, they had to rejig. They surprised themselves by winning the title last year. They had to rejig. They had to rebuild for the future. It may be that they come again.
Whereas a different story with Arsenal. They've been building up to this moment. And I
Absolutely.
think that's why Gabby says, not to their fans, but maybe to the rest of us, if they are only going to score 69 goals, you've said, maybe it is a little bit underwhelming. And I love Theo Walcott, but I can't believe he even asked the question on television, would this Arsenal team beat the United team of 2008? Absolutely no chance.
It is a little odd, though, having come close 2 seasons ago with an attacking approach.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We're taking you through what should be another busy day of football.
Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
How would you get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
It's the weekend breakfast here on talkSPORT. It's Shebahn and Tony Cascarino with you. It's a banger.
Yeah.
Wilder and McCarthy out jamming.
Bruce Springsteen. Yeah. It's a classic, isn't it?
Such a good song. Timeless as well.
Yeah.
There's a story going around in the papers this morning. A carpet washing firm called Spruce Springsteen has been crowned the UK's funniest company name. By the way, some of these are absolutely brilliant. Sherlock Holmes, get your keys. Only Poles and Horses. Only Poles and Hoses. I don't get it. What are they? What do? They're plumbers? They should be plumbers. They're doing poles and hoses, right? But they're window cleaners. Okay.
Okay.
London fireplace firm Great Expectations. There's a van that drove by me the other day and I went, that's good. I like that. I like that name there.
Well, I'll tell you one that Ray Parlour told me. So a few years back, Andy Linegan, the centre half I spoke about earlier for Arsenal, and Tony Adams might know, but apparently he became a plumber after he finished football, and on the side of his van he had not a bad footballer but an even better plumber.
Okay.
It's pretty funny, isn't it?
Yeah. No,
I'm told. Whether that's 100% gospel, I don't know, but I remember that story.
There's a hairdressers in Glasgow, really famous one, Curl Up and Die. That's good, isn't it? It's also like savage at the same time.
Yeah, it's funny.
Can I be
Very
playing
clever.
it? Curl Up and Die?
Yeah, playing with words and making it work is brilliant.
Yeah,
It's
I
a
like
skill.
Yes, and please, you can feel free to add to these on the text if you're one of those companies with a good name. Share it with us. Let's now get the latest odds with Coral.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. Get set to bring the cheer this festive season with a sleigh full of free rewards from Coral. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
John Hill is with us this morning. John, these are some good ones. There's a Tyler based in Gateshead called Bonnie Tyler. That's a good one.
Oh, I love that. Absolutely love that. And I love you playing there a bit of Springsteen. The boss, what an absolute legend he is. Absolutely love that music. So, great show this morning, guys. And looking forward to a good day of sport. We've got 4 Premier League games. We've got action up in Scotland today. And the good news is, I'm going to get this in early, the green light in Ireland at Leopardstown for the Dublin Racing Festival. That passed an inspection this morning. So we obviously had the action postponed yesterday. I'm really sorry for everybody heading across to Dublin yesterday for the racing. They ended up in the pub, so I'm sure they had a good day anyway. But they'll get some racing today, so that's the good news for those guys.
John, obviously yesterday's results and relegation winning the league. Arsenal shortened after that 4-0 convincing victory.
Yeah, they have indeed, and it was a convincing victory, wasn't it? I'm sure Mikel Arteta was delighted with that. They're now 1-3 to lift this Premier League title. And it just puts the pressure, doesn't it, on Manchester City today. We'll come into that game shortly, but they've got a tough run over the next few weeks. So I wouldn't be shocked at all, Cass, if they extended that lead at the top of the table, Arsenal. So they're in a solid position. At the bottom end of the table, I felt really sorry for West Ham yesterday. I don't know if you saw the game, but the first half against Chelsea, they were outstanding. They could have been 3 or... Yeah. It really was, wasn't it, Shebahn? They could have been 3 or 4-0 up at half-time. Credit to the Chelsea manager, he changed it at half-time because he had to, because that left-hand side, they were getting absolutely slaughtered, weren't they? And changed it. They were much better in the second half and obviously came up with the winner. So, good action yesterday and looking forward to the games today.
So where do you want to start? You're going to start with Man City up against Spurs?
Yeah, can do. Yeah, that's the game at 4:30 today. And I mentioned, pressure now on Manchester City. They are odds on today at 8-11, but I don't think it's going to be easy this afternoon. Spurs 17-5. They're buoyed by some good Champions League performances. Spurs not quite got it right in the Premier League yet, have they? Thomas Frank's side, but they're in the last 16 now. Champions League, able to concentrate on the Premier League for the next 4 or 5 weeks. As I say, 17-5 to prevail today. The draw 3-1. City can't really afford, can they, to drop any points? They're now 7-2 to win the Premier League title.
Yeah. A lot of people are guilty of forgetting about Villa, so we're not going to. They're playing Brentford at home, so normal service. They get 3 points today. So, what price is the Villa?
Well, in terms of the title, they're at 18-1. Look, as you say, everyone's talking about this being a 2-horse race for the title. The Villa will have different ideas. So, 18-1 for the Villa to win the title. They're 23-20 to prevail against Brentford today. Got a few injuries to contend with, though, Villa. Obviously, missing their striker. It looks like Tammy Abraham will be coming into the attack today. He'll be making his second debut for the club. And obviously, he had a good first spell there, didn't he, when he was out on loan? Really good striker on loan. But Brentford 23-10. I'm sure that'll appeal to a lot of people today. Keith Andrews' side having a good season. The draw in this one, 12-5. And the other game at 2:00. Two sides who could still get dragged into this relegation battle. I'm sure they were delighted with that Chelsea comeback yesterday. Forest versus Palace. Forest 23-20 to prevail at home. And Palace just really are on free fall, aren't they? And you have to feel sorry for Palace fans because last season won the FA Cup. Everything was looking pretty. They looked like they were going to get into the Europa League, and obviously that got kicked into the bin for them. They ended up in the Conference League, and obviously they've lost some key players as the season progressed. They're 27-10 to prevail against Forest today. The draw in this one, 12-5.
And Carrick, 3 in a row?
Could it be? Yeah. Look, it's much more positive now at Old Trafford, isn't it, Shebahn, after these opening 2 victories? And he's just lifted the place, hasn't he? And they're 1-2 favourites today. I don't think they would have been as short as 1-2 United had Amorim been in charge, had another manager been in charge. But such is the optimism. If you fancy a Fulham upset today, that's available at 4-1. The draw 17-5. But real hopes of a top 4 finish now for United, Shebahn.
John, in less than 5 minutes, the Australian Open, Djokovic up against Alcaraz. How you pricing?
Well, there were 2 cracking semi-finals, weren't they? Absolutely. Both of them were outstanding. Drama fifth sets in both of those. In terms of today, Alcaraz warm favourite at 1-3. Djokovic, can he roll back the years? He's getting older now. He's 38 years old. He's 9-4 to win what would be a 25th Grand Slam title. And fair play to him. You know, he's still got life in him, as to Djokovic. But yeah, Alcaraz, given his age and given form of the players, it's a warm favourite at 1-3 to lift the title.
Wonderful stuff. John Hill, have yourself a wonderful day.
Cheers, guys.
Thank
you too.
Look after yourself. John Hill there from Coral. That was the latest odds with Coral. 18+ begambleaware.org. Please gamble responsibly.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. Get set to bring the cheer this festive season with a sleigh full of free rewards from Coral. 18+ gambleaware.org.
Game Day Live with Sam Matterface and Alex Crook from 1:30 this afternoon here on talkSPORT. Download the talkSPORT app. You can take us anywhere with you to stay across all of the actions today. Villa Brentford at 2, as is Manchester United, Fulham and Forest Palace. Will build up to Man United Fulham next with their former striker and former Linfield boss David Healy.
The only problem I have with him, he done it again on the weekend against Arsenal. He played a pass to Mbeumo, and he was at fault for a poor pass. And he's thrown his arms up at Mbeumo, and then Mbeumo's actually giving him some back of like, come on, as a player, you don't players throwing your arms.
Why is that wrong? That happens all the time.
But as a player, having played it at the game, anybody throws your arms up at you, you always have, you don't like it. Ask any players playing now, you don't like it. That's what he let himself down at. Garnacho copied him.
Don't compare Garnacho to Bruno Fernandes.
I'm saying he copied him. I'm not comparing him. I'm saying he copied. It's not a good example when you're throwing your arms up at your teammates. What he does on the pitch, his performances,
but isn't
outstanding.
That because he's from a different culture, from a different sort of upbringing, and
it's
he's
a
got
Portuguese mentality,
demeanour. He has, you know, if you look at Jose Mourinho and the way he conducts himself, it's different to the way that Michael Carrick conducts himself because they're brought up in different cultures. And if you're going to have the World League, which
who else do you see do it?
Loads of players do it. Go watch Spanish football.
No, in the Premier League.
Yeah, but that's the point, Sam. I spend a lot of time in Portugal, as you know, and they are that sort of mentality. They are an expressive population. So I think that's why it stands
does
out.
it quite a lot, doesn't he? He gets the
but also just
up in the air.
Graham Souness is going back to a different world, really. I don't want to say prehistoric views, but they don't.
The story of my life, I take her home. I drive all night to keep her warm in time.
Good morning, it's the Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Happy birthday to Harry Styles, who Tony Cascarino guessed this morning.
45, I said.
Mid-40s? 45? Harry is our next guest on the show this morning. A bloomin' wish. Love Harry Styles. This was One Direction, story of my life.
One Direction?
Yeah.
No direction, you mean?
According to yourself.
I had to.
By the way, be careful. The One Direction fans will come for you and make your life hell.
I used to have boots. Remember New Balance?
Yeah.
And I remember I was on the pitch and they're all the markings. I won't say the player's name, but he went, "You're more No Balance." I remember laughing during the match.
What player said it?
I'm not saying it.
Why not?
Saying it. I'm not. No, it's a bit unfair.
Why the secrecy? It's a good line.
It's just funny. It's funny.
Tell me in the next break. You're listening to Weekend Breakfast. Here's what's coming up for you on talkSPORT today. 9 o'clock. The lads are in the office doing their lunges and warming up for the Sunday edition. Henry Winter alongside Sean Custis with a very special guest, Arsenal Invincible Tony Adams is going to be with the guys here in the studio. 11 o'clock, the warm-up is here. Max Rushton and Barry Glendenning. Game Day Live, Sam Matterface and Alex Crook taking you all around the grounds from 1:30. All the goals as they happen. And then Adi Oladipo and Alan Pardew are there taking your calls on the weekend's action. 6:30, it's the Trans Euro Express then at 9. Over on the YouTube channel, if you fancy a little bit of Serie A football, Jamie Vardy's Cremonese take on mighty Inter Milan. Will Jamie Vardy be having a party? You can find out on the talkSPORT YouTube channel from 5 o'clock. That's all thanks to our friends at DAZN. Keep across all the action here on the talkSPORT app as well. Oh, if that's not enough, stick on your smart TV. You can watch the action from the studio. If you've had enough of the football for a minute, swipe across to Virgin Radio for the tunes. Chris Evans back tomorrow, 6:30 in Virgin Radio Breakfast. And if you want to keep across the news, there's Times Radio and Talk Radio as well. Also today, Men's Australian Open final getting underway very, very soon. Carlos Alcaraz taking on the GOAT Novak Djokovic. Watching for talkSPORT. Here's the latest and everything you need to know with Toby Gillis.
The Australian Open update on talkSPORT with TNT Sports. Every set exclusively live on TNT Sports. Subscription required. 18+. Terms and conditions apply.
Morning all, morning everybody on a day of destiny. Novak Djokovic has the chance today to usurp Margaret Court's record of 24 Grand Slam singles titles, a mark that has stood for almost 53 years and will surely never be beaten. But perhaps bigger, this is a man who has over 18 years at slam level, dominated one of the most physical of sports in probably its greatest era, and might today climb to the summit once again, having seen off the only two players comparable to his great rivals Nadal and Federer nowadays as well. It might be his greatest triumph, and it might just make him number one in the history of all of sport too. But in Carlos Alcaraz, he faces a young man whose striking is perhaps the cleanest of anyone currently on the circuit. If the roof on Rod Laver Arena is open and a breeze is wafting through the air, it might be significant in the younger man's favour. He will believe he has Djokovic's number either way, as he seeks to usurp Rafa Nadal's Open-era record as the youngest male to win all 4 slams, or Don Budge's all-time record of that, set back in 1938. But just ask Yannick Sinner, belief on its own is never enough against Djokovic. He has another place to go, and you can't ever doubt the greatest of all time. The two players are about to take the Walk of Champions with history on the line. Both faced marathon 5-setters in the semis. There are doubts about the full fitness of each, but at their best, this could be one of the slam finals ever. Not to mention, guys, the significance of the result.
Oh, Toby, you could be a salesman. That's good.
Oh, I have rarely bounced out of bed for a sporting event like this morning, I'll tell you.
It's going to be a cracker. Did you just see a wafting through the air?
If there is a breeze, which there is in Melbourne today, wafting through the air, then yes, it could be a problem for Djokovic.
You listen, even if you don't like tennis, you're probably pumped for this now. Toby Gillis with us across the day. Thank you so much, Toby. We'll speak to you again very, very soon. Also buzzing for 2 o'clock this afternoon, Cass. Manchester United. The fans have been treated to 2 brilliant wins over Man City and Arsenal in recent weeks. Much to many's surprise, can Michael Carrick's men do it again? Versus Fulham today, it's 6th against 7th in the Premier League. Ahead of the game, the interim boss was asked why United have struggled at home in recent years.
Ultimately, consistency is the key to success, you know, and I think it's in my eyes, it's one of the most difficult things to achieve, to be good consistently rather. So yeah, it takes so much, you know. It takes a level of performance, it takes the level of mentality and the intensity and the concentration, and actually be able to cope emotionally with the ups and downs of what each game brings and moving on to the next. So there's so many things and that kind of go into it. And listen, that's what we're working towards. You know, we've had a great couple of weeks, 2 big results. There's bigger games coming up, and it's just keeping the mind in the right place as much as the emotions to be able to go into the next game in just as we have done the previous 2.
Michael Carrick there. Dorgu out today, which is a bit of a nightmare for us.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
Well, I think if you're looking he talks about consistency, and that's absolutely right. That's a reflection of Michael Carrick, because Michael Carrick was a very consistent player. His performances were always of 7+ week in, week out. Great user of the ball, kept it brilliantly. An expectation now is to show the Old Trafford faithful again that, yes, you've got a team like Fulham coming who have been in decent form, that you take it to them. I think the one thing was a standout feature in both games against Man City and against Arsenal was that they took the game to them as well. It wasn't just about, being countered. They actually went after them when they got the ball in great positions.
Former Manchester United and Fulham striker, current Linfield Football Club manager David Healy is with us to build up to this one. Good morning, David. How are you? Thanks for being with us.
Hi, David.
No worries. Hi, Tony. Hi, Shebahn. Okay.
We're good. Tell us where you see it, David, because what we see in him, I mean, look, most managers, and you're a manager, you'll get this stability long term, but to see such a dramatic change around with very basic changes into the team.
Yeah, again, when Ruben was the manager, it looked as if they were potentially quite easily to play against because they always played, rigidly the same shape formation. I think it gives other opportunities to, especially the top-class managers in the Premier League, things to work on throughout the week. And United always struggled. They never changed the shape. And to be fair to Michael, it probably was always going to be the case when he got the interim job that he was going to come in and make, I think, subtle changes initially. But to go back to the back four, the 4-3-3 gives them the attacking threat going forward. You mentioned there before, they've went after Man City and they've went after Arsenal, so that's going to be key, and certainly going after Fulham again today. Teams like Fulham and Brentford, Bournemouth, where United have potentially struggled against over the last number of years, so that's going to be key today.
Yeah, look, playing against Manchester United, you always knew tin hat job, they're going to be coming after you, and they never ever disappointed you.
Yeah, again, the last 20, 30 minutes of the game at Old Trafford, when if the game is in the balance, or even if you were leading, you always sort of feared the avalanche, the onslaught coming. And it looks as if, again, Michael's been part of successful teams. You said there about he was consistently a player. He was a player, and again, I never played with, but he always seemed as if he was a step ahead of people. He was very intelligent on the pitch. See,
I'm sure he was that as well, though.
Yeah, I'm sure he was. Yeah, but he was always a little bit of a step ahead of people. Yeah, he certainly was.
David, tell us. Look, Ruben Amorim, and you said it in your at the start that being set on the way he wanted to play. And my argument was, well, when you do your coaching courses, and you would know way better than me on this, is that you're told how to deal with different problems, different issues. So if you're just fixated on one way of playing, I thought, what's the point of coaching courses?
No.
Yeah, again, he had the success at Sporting. There was no doubt about that. And again, like Ten Hag potentially before him, they were coming in as and people were talking about world-class coaches. They've had previous world-class managers and Van Gaal and Mourinho, and it hasn't quite worked out. But, the coaching philosophy, it's all your own. I think one thing that has proved that why Amorim has left Man United was, he didn't quite adapt to changes. I think United were set out and people were calling out for Man United to go a little bit more offensive, 4-3-3, 4-4-2, whatever it was, the old Man United. And I think Michael's brought that back over the last couple of weeks. But again, as I said, United have had good results against Man City and Liverpool in previous seasons under previous managers. But the acid test, going forward against the Fulhams today, the Brentfords, the Bournemouths, the Burnleys, etc., and whatever else, that's going to be important for him the day going back up to the last couple of results.
Yeah, and really getting up for these games as well, because that's the thing, as a player, you would imagine you want to get yourself as pumped as possible for Arsenal and Man United and put in a performance.
Yeah.
But listen, Fulham, 7th, it's 6 against 7th. They've been absolutely no mugs at all this season. They have to be up for this. They have to absolutely go for it the way they have been doing.
Yeah, and again, Marco Silva continues to do a brilliant job at Fulham. Harry Wilson's in top form. He's another player playing at the top of his game, technically very good, very bright, very smart. And every time he lands on the ball in around the 18-yard box, you always fear that he's potentially one of the players who could hurt you. So, yeah, Fulham are going to be up for it. I've been there on the other side, coming to Old Trafford with Fulham. And you always sort of, again, you come into it. And I wouldn't say Marco Silva's the type of coach-manager where he's going to say to his players, listen, we've nothing to lose, etc. Coming to Old Trafford, they do. They're still pushing. They're still pushing in around Europa spots. But the way he coaches, the way he plays, I see an attacking game today. I don't think he's going to sit back. They have attacking players on the counter-attack who can hurt Man United.
David, yourself, how are you getting on? Are you enjoying management?
Yeah, doing well. Big win yesterday.
Yeah, no, well, some days it's enjoyable. Tony, again, the stress can be heightened. We're struggling a little bit in the league at the minute. We've progressed through to a cup final again, but we're a little bit behind at the league at the minute. But the stress levels never change whether you win or draw. With no game midweek this week, we prepare with a tough game in the Irish Cup. A banana skin type of game. We played at the top of the table championship club on Friday, so we look forward to that challenge.
Yeah, I mean, that's 11th season at Linfield, is that right?
Yeah, 11 seasons. I know I heard your intro. I think you had me nearly out the door, Shebahn, earlier.
Sorry about that. Yeah, that's you finished now, David.
It's okay. If there's any Linfield fans listening, they'll probably be hoping that was the good news for the Sunday morning.
I'm so sorry.
David, Shebahn's had me nearly out the door a couple of times in the last few weeks.
Listen, he was out last night, so I was hoping it was going to be him making mistakes today, but it was me, David. Listen, you do still have your job. The fans lovely, you're doing great. Talk to us about Northern Ireland as well and the hopes for the World Cup qualification. I mean, where are you at with that?
Yeah, huge game. Again, it's probably one of the tougher draws that we could have got. Certainly Italy away, and then potentially Wales, which would be incredible sort of for both countries. But not looking beyond Italy. I think that the opportunity we have against Italy have failed in the last couple of qualifying
North Macedonia, wasn't it? They beat them, didn't they? Yeah.
North Macedonia beat them. And again, it's interesting that I think previous games, maybe they went to the bigger stadiums, the San Siro and maybe Rome. They've taken this one to Bergamo and Atalanta. Smaller crowd, maybe they don't want the hostilities and maybe a little bit more pressure added on by the Italian supporters because they're going to be demanding that Italy qualify for the World Cup this year. So that might play into Northern Ireland's hands a little bit. I know recently with the injury to Conor Bradley, it's a huge loss, and one or two others. And hopefully Conor recovers quickly if we do get to the World Cup and etc. and whatever else. That was a nasty injury that he picked up. So Michael, again, very clever man, clever manager. He'll have his preparation done. He'll probably have his team already picked if everybody turns up in March. There'll be a huge travel in Northern Ireland sport there. The pressure's all on Italy. And Northern Ireland can go there if we can suck up a little bit of pressure, which we're going to have to at times, hit them on the break. And this young Northern Ireland team, they're fearless at the minute. They've a lot of energy.
That's what you want.
And if we can maybe sort of add that little bit of extra, maybe from a little bit of set play. Who knows what can happen?
And just add to the stress levels as well for you, David.
Yeah, again, but sorry?
You love it? You love the stress levels?
The stress levels? No, we don't love the stress levels. No, managers. Again, Michael going into a game like that, managers going into games like that, you know, your excitement's it heightens, but the opportunity to get to a World Cup final, Northern Ireland haven't been to a World Cup final. I know we were at the Euros in 2016 in France. Northern Ireland haven't been to the World Cup since 1986. You know, the great Pat Jennings, etc., and Norman Whiteside, that sort of era. So this is an opportunity now for this new group, this young group, the hungry group, to go and progress to the finals, hopefully.
David Healy, thank you so much for your time this morning. We appreciate it. Have yourself a good weekend, all right?
Thanks, David.
Thank you.
Take care of yourself. Linfield manager, former Man United and Fulham striker, a man who won 95 caps for Northern Ireland. David Healy coming up next for you in the Weekend Breakfast. We'll speak to Spurs fan and content creator Forms. Look ahead to the big game at 4:30 this afternoon.
I've got to say, though, I mean, I am with Dino on this one, really, as opposed to yourself, Jay. But I think Thomas Frank should be given Tom. I think the trouble is, you see, it's too easy to sort of say, oh, we're not doing well, sack the manager, right? He's only been in the job 6 months. Let's be frank here, right? I'm going to spell it out for the other fans, right? They're listening to your glorious channel, right? We finished 17th in the league. He has not taken over a team that finished in the top 4. We qualified the Champions League because we won that trophy.
Yeah, we won the Europa League and we had a load of injuries and we sacked off the Premier League at the end of last season. So, yeah, I know we finished 17th and it wasn't good enough. I get that. But there needed to be a massive improvement. With the players that we've got, we shouldn't be where we are in the table. You can't... The performances, Chris, are not acceptable in the Premier League. That's your bread and butter. And look, we're a great side in the Champions League and we're a joy to watch. But that's got to go into the Premier League performances.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the thing is that we should...
Good morning, it's the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne and former Villa and Chelsea striker Tony Cascarino. What time are you getting your nap in then? Got to be 2.
I don't know yet.
1 o'clock?
I don't know. What time's the games? I normally try and, if I get back, but mind you, my son's playing football at 9:30. I'm going to struggle to get for the first half. So
Hey, make sure you don't fall asleep in the train and wake up in the middle of nowhere. Sir.
I've never done that. I've never done that. I've got people I know who have done it, and we all have, don't we? How can you miss your stop?
Oh, I've done it so many times.
Drink related, obviously.
I've woken up in Bedford and I've been like, not again! You stupid cow!
What?
Got off, got in the train back. Oh,
right, yeah.
Anyway, don't do that. Your headlines this morning: WSL leaders Manchester City host Chelsea this afternoon. A win for City could all but cement the league, make them 12 points clear of Sonia Bonpastor's Chelsea. It's got to be City's time. There's no way No way they can lose it from here, or is there? Looking forward to that game this afternoon. All the updates coming here on talkSPORT. The Australian Open is underway. Djokovic against Alcaraz. The updates also coming here. Djokovic leads at 1-0. More to come from Toby Gillis, who'll get you up for it either way. If you're not even interested in your tennis, Toby will make sure that you like it today. A brilliant final from the men's there in the Australian Open. It's time now for this.
Win a trip to South Africa with the Barmy Army on talkSPORT.
South Africa next winter for the New Year's test in 2027. How does that sound? Brilliant. Flights, accommodation, spending money, all thanks to the Barmy Army and talkSPORT. You could be there. Here's how you can get involved. Text the word WIN to 83338. Your texts are £2.50 plus your one standard network rate. Call this number if you would rather, 0343 418 7260. The lines close on Friday at 4 p.m. If your phone rings that day, answer it. It could be us with your chance to win. It's 18 plus, UK residents only. For your chance to win, text WIN to 83338 now, or call 0343 418 7260. All of the terms and conditions are at talksport.com, and it's a full network promotion. Good luck to you. Spurs versus Manchester City, 4:30 this afternoon. We've been discussing it in the show. A massive game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I mean, Thomas Frank absolutely crying out for a win, especially at home. Spurs are winless in their last 5 league games, doing well in the Champions League. Pep Guardiola's Manchester City have lost to Spurs more than any other opponent in his managerial career. Who'd have thought? Cass, you think this is going to be tough, obviously, for Spurs this afternoon, but not impossible.
Well, if you're looking at league form, I mean, they've had 2 big victories against Dortmund and Eintracht Frankfurt in the Champions League, which has been great for them. It just feels like Tottenham Stadium's a bit of a difficult place for the team to play at the moment and play their best football. You know, they're just not getting it together. And the grumblings in the stands start very quickly if they're not quite doing it at half-time. You know, they've had some really funny results. And I think it's a good match for them to play. It's a good time to play City, as in they've just turned that corner slightly, but they're also defensively. Well, I know Mark Gay's coming in, he's going to add a lot, but I still think you can get at the fullback areas and the centre-half position of City.
Some chat online that Arsenal fans will be cheering on Spurs this afternoon in terms of the title race, and some Spurs fans want their own team to lose against Manchester City. The game's going. Let's get the opinion of this man.
As a teenager, I was branded tragic. White boy can't rap. Now I'm on the live with H, and it's safe to say white boy's got that.
If anybody sees her, shine a light on her, shine a light on her.
So far in the Champions League, table set, league phase complete. Twists and turns on a final day, saw no one safe. It's a football feast. Guaranteed top spot was Arsenal. Perfect start, gotta stay impartial. Moving on to Munich, Barca, Lisbon, rep the rest of Europe. It's a marvel.
Do you miss me? Like I miss the way.
That's the pipes of Forms there. Social media sensation, over 1 million followers now on TikTok. Spurs fan is wearing. Good morning, Forms. How are you?
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good.
We're great. You're not one of those nutters who wants your team to lose today, are you?
Nah, I don't think there's many times in my life I've sat there and gone, yeah, let's watch a loss today, especially after watching last season and this season where we've seen enough. I just want to see wins and get some 3 points.
Why does it? I've been probably about 3 or 4 times this season, and it changes really quickly, Forms, at the Tottenham Stadium, where the fans just, in a moment, can then start the grumblings. You can just feel it.
Do you know what I think it is? And it kind of pains me because I love us, I love my club, I love our fans, but we've sort of had this upward trajectory of entitlement since that Champions League final. That season we got to the Champions League final was incredible in Europe. And well, I've seen this story before, incredible in Europe, but domestically wasn't the best. But because we got to the Champions League final, we were all like, yeah, unbelievable. We're up there with the biggest and the best now. We can just start being the biggest and the best. And then it didn't quite happen in the years to come. But I think the mentality of, but we got to a Champions League final was always the thing that kept us there. And when we weren't seeing success, that was the reference point to go back to. And I think that's where this kind of toxicity maybe started. And then we finally win something, which was the best night of my life. I think even, please God, in the future, when I get married and have kids, those days will not top that night in Bilbao.
Wow. Wow, that's one way to get married, isn't it?
Listen, don't make sure my future wife doesn't hear that. But it's like we finally did it, and then we kind of got told, "Yo, we're gonna push on now. We're gonna do incredible things from this point," and then it kind of hasn't gone to plan. And I think everyone's got their right to be frustrated with that, but at the same time, we weren't necessarily in a position last season to go and win something, and we still did. And that's massive credit to Ange Postecoglou in the way that he managed to make it happen. And I'm very, very grateful for it. But even after we won it, I was very much a big believer in, okay, we're still in project mode, whether or not it's going to be Ange or whether or not someone else is going to be at the helm. We really do need a little bit more patience. Like we've had the glory. We don't necessarily need to, or we don't necessarily have that structure to go on that crazy run of, okay, well, next season we'll win the FA Cup, and the season after that it's the league, and then why not go for the Champions League? I still think there was a lot of stuff that needed building. But then again, football in the past 5-10 years is such an even more fast-paced sport.
Well, that's it. And now Arsenal forms look like they're going to go and do it, fighting on all four fronts. Some people saying that they could get the quadruple this season. Will you get any fun shade, any rapping shade towards Arsenal or for Spurs before we let you go?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. It was nice to see you guys. I'm off. No, it's, I mean, look, off the top of my head, if we're talking about today and Arsenal wanting us to win, which I always kind of enjoy when Arsenal fans support Spurs, it's like Arsenal need us to get 3 if they're really going to win the league. And look, it doesn't really matter to me because whatever will be, will be. And a good game is all I want to see. Fight, heart from a solid team. But even if we lose, let me dream, because we're going to win the Champions League.
Oh, Forbes, we love you. Thank you so much. Good luck today. Thanks so much for coming on Weekend Breakfast. Have a good one. Forbes, singer-songwriter and Spurs fan. Don't forget all the updates coming for you on Game Day Live from 4:30, Spurs Man City. Also the 2 o'clock games, Villa Brentford, Palace Forest and Man United, Fulham Cast. Go for a nap. Have yourself a great weekend. And a good Sunday. See you next week. The Sunday edition with their very special guest, Tony Adams, is next.